Street Fighter League Japan is back. You know what time it is? Every point matters. Every match matters. That means every match is going to be an absolute banger after banger, as many teams are in contention and some are just vying to maybe spoil. We'll see what happens. We'll do the math a little later on. My name is Seiko. I'm joined with Vicious. My G, what's on the menu today?
Oh, we got a lot, man. We got a fully coursed meal for each and every one of you individuals out there who are fans of Street Fighter 6, whether it's in the West, especially in the Japan area. We've got you guys covered. Starting things off with FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN versus Shinobism Gaming, then Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto versus NagoyaNTPOJA, and then, of course, rounding it out, DetonatioN FocusMe versus a Good 8 Squad. You talked about how important all of these matches are, as it's pretty close within the top 3. We get to talk about that score later on. But what's more important is the fact that it's only 3 weeks left, and we also have so many more events to look forward to. These guys are going to be grinding out so much Street Fighter to qualify one way or another into the big dance.
100%. You know, watch these players travel back and forth, either online or offline, to grind out these matches, learn about the meta, and as you mentioned, qualify in some way, either be team-based or singles-based. As we're excited to see, and there's going to be some singles-based combat this weekend, which we'll, again, talk about a little bit later on. But right now, it's all about that team-based battle, and it's going to be about that team-based strategy. As you mentioned, let's go down the list a little bit on what's going on. Good 8 Squad in the top spot right now. Shinobism Gaming, not too far behind. In fact, only in the second place by that differential. And then third place, Saishunkan Kumamoto is 155, so they're not too far away. FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN, however, is only 10 points away from them. And all of these teams are not only gunning for that spot in the playoffs, but also a lion's share of that pot that you see. That's 5 million, 2 million, and 1 million for first, second, and third, respectively. But they also will be rewarded for some certain awards, which we'll detail a little bit later on, and which we all love to hear about, the drive impact, all that stuff like that. But to continue going down the list of the teams, what's happening with them, NTPOJA is 115 right now, and DetonatioN FocusMe better focus up. They're at 90 points, and I think they need 90, or they need 40 bombers all the way through to ensure maybe a sniffing chance at that possible qualification. But again, that might be kind of difficult.
Yeah, depending how it spins with the rest of the teams as well that are currently above them, right? They could also score 0 points for themselves. DetonatioN FocusMe, I feel like the amount of points needed for them to feel somewhat safe would have to be around the 200 mark with how high some of the other teams have already scored. There is a possibility, there is a realm where they could do it, because if you're looking at third place with 155, that is doable within 3 weeks, right? Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto could easily have a bad couple of weeks and fall short of the wayside. So it really depends, I think, on how everybody performs this week. That really solidifies those top 3 spots, if not the top 2 for sure. So with that in mind, there's a lot of pressure on some of the lower end teams, such as DetonatioN FocusMe, such as NagoyaNTPOJA. However, FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN, I think they're kind of riding the line just a little bit, with a little more leeway in comparison to the other two. Granted, anything can happen still.
Yeah, we watched it last episode for the other division, where we saw 40 bomber after 40 bomber. That just speaks to the quality in the pedigree that's out here at Street Fighter League Japan. You know, you can have a team full of stacked players, but if your team order isn't right, then your setup just ain't right. And that's just how it is. You know, it comes down to strategy at the very end of the day, no matter who's on those teams. And now, let's talk about those awards that we were mentioning previously. This is one of my favorite parts, people. The awards we doled out, 50k yen will be awarded individually to players that are season MVP, point getter award, win rate award, rookie of the year award, and our favorite drive impact award. We will figure out who's the best at that. I think Machibo's still in the lead, or maybe Higuchi has overtaken him, and I'll have to check. The website's a little funky. We'll have to do our own math on the side, but one of those 3 is up there.
Apparently it says Kakaru is in the lead, but I'm not too sure if that's true. But I will double check that. Actually, no, it says Tachikawa, and then also it says Machibo currently for the drive impact success. However, that could change all in a matter of a couple of matches. And also, listen, man, I'm getting it off of the internet. I'm getting it off of the website itself. So it happens sometimes where it doesn't load all the way. It just shows like the pictures of who's up. But one of the things I do like to mention is how impactful some of the players have been in regards to all the points they've acquired for themselves, right? This is also one of the very important stats that go into some of the individual awards. swords. But also kind of gives you a hint as to who is going to be the big captain, the big anchor for a lot of these matches. One of those being Saishunkan Soul Kumamoto's very own Higuchi. He was highlighted a little bit earlier on from Habeko's choice, and he's been an all-star throughout the entirety of the season, undefeated. And we get an even closer look at him eventually. However, let's switch gears a little bit and introduce ourselves back into it with FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN. Starting things off on the away side, we have the sunlit rising star that is Saso with that ever-impressive Ed. And of course, FUKUSHIMA's go-getter, Yanai, who we haven't seen as much, who's also been somewhat of a consultant and taken like the managerial role for this team, but is still a possible threat. The daredevil on ice, of course, the former pro skater, ice skater that is, it's Kosa, all led by Triple P's, baby. Perfect parry Prince, that is Kakaru, who had a very impressive bout over in his World Warrior performance number 3, just shy of taking it down over Kawano. But although we got second place at World Warrior, he's still number 1 in the rankings.
That's true, but they're going up against one that is in this top spot right now. Shinobism Gaming, we've been doing a lot of work since they're having a slight decline at the beginning, has risen to the top spot right now and like to stay there, at least around the top spot. What an absolute stacked team with one person who's sitting on the bench that I want to see kind of operate and maybe be as a secret weapon, Johnny, in the kind of the, I want to say the stands. I want to see what operates with him. Right now we're going to be seeing the totality of this team. Shinobism Gaming coming up. Start off. The Swanky Ninja himself, as we talked about Johnny, who has that muscle mommy Marisa. We haven't really seen her too often in terms of getting victories. We want to see the Bison. Bring him out, Johnny. We got to see it. All right, anyway, it's going to be the Gravemaker as he digs the grave for you. You're through. It's going to be Fujimura. He is also the one that carries the title of Optimal with his Akuma. Beyond that, it's going to be the Vanguard leading the charge sometimes, and actually most of the time. In that first of 2 set, Yamaguchi on the Ed. Very dreamy with that character. We're speaking about dreams. We're going to speak about the nightmares that this man brings as the Shinobism Prime himself, Momoi, leading the charge. And this team has been absolutely ridiculous. We talked about this before. You would think that having 2 similar characters or 2 of the same characters on your team would be a problematic thing, but the difference in how they play has led them to success. 2 Eds has not pushed them down at all, and even with Johnny not living up to the standards that are on the rest of the team just yet, or picking the right character, it hasn't slowed them down thus far.
Imagine if Johnny has a pocket Ed in the works. Ed and Eddie, man. That's the team I'm going to call him, if that actually happens. All right. All jokes aside, let's take a look at the away side. Saso, Kosa, Kakaru, Ed, Ken, and Akuma. How do you feel about that one? Kind of spicy.
So it's pretty good. I feel like you really can't go wrong with that. I mean, in any order for that. But I also like Kakaru being in the anchor position because he's such a very easily moldable person. You've got the Bison, you've got the Akuma, you've got the JP if need be, but I really doubt that's going to be necessary in any of this. But I feel like he's a very good all-rounder. Why not have him in the anchor position? I feel like the other 2 can fit pretty much anywhere. They're going to be fine. And having that Kosa pick right there also dissuades any other Ed from coming in that second position. I feel like they've seen the power of how Kosa plays that matchup. All the other players have told me, like, I don't ever want to fight Kosa, bro. He just understands that matchup just in general. So I'd assume they're going to avoid that. But we'll see.
Okay, so here's what I thought. I think Fujimura would have definitely been up first because I think Akuma does a pretty solid job against Ed. I had that kind of conversation with Seijam over on the World Warrior recap show. I think Goki is, sorry, I read the name in Japanese. I think Akuma is just too difficult to really keep grounded and also really hard to snipe out at the same time. I think his toolkit generally kind of goes around a lot of what Ed can present on the ground, right? I think he's got the complete packages of an immense fireball game, high output, high damage output, a lot of versatility in movement, whether it's in the air with different angles of the Demon Raid, and also on the ground with the normals he's presenting on top of the very impressive block speed. So Fujimura coming up against Saso specifically for Ed makes a lot of sense.
I agree. Also, in addition to all that, like, you don't have to present too many lingering normals in the matchup overall. Like, 4 Fierce and Sand Fierce are great, but those aren't always necessary. You have fast fireballs like Heavy Punch Fireball that'll kind of knock away some of the normals that Ed would like to do and kind of make him a little more pensive to put those out and get a drive rush right after it, all that good stuff. On top of all the things that you've mentioned, it does become a more difficult matchup. I definitely remember Angry Bird, as we talked about, really gunning for that character to have something to fight against Ed. And as you mentioned, you could definitely see the toolkit really fighting against this character. But Saso has been playing this character since the DLC dropped, before the Dream Combos were a thing. He was awake and aware of what this character can do. So Saso says in his interview, so it seems Fujimura wants revenge, because it was last time that Saso's Ed did beat Fujimura's Akuma, so he wants his lick back. He gave me a lot of advice, and I'm not sure he's referring to either somebody on his team or Fujimura right after. I'm not sure. I'd have to be somebody on his team, I would imagine. I want to win here to show how good I got.
That's kind of sick. I appreciate that. I think no matter how much adversity there is between teams, there's always that kind of camaraderie within Japan. It's like, hey, let me play you to like figure out the matchup or whatever, and I'll also show you the ways of like how other players approach Ed or how other players pilot Ed as well. Granted, like Saso does have the skills to take down Fujimura. You've already seen it in week number 4, but Fujimura, he could have a different look just because his teammates are piloting the exact same character with Yamaguchi and Momoi. It leads me to think too, just based off of the initial pick, this is a little bit of a sidetrack. If they're all out for revenge, I think, and Hamiko was on a point about this, I'm willing to bet that they would send out the exact same team, because they're on the home side, to play off against how their opponents from week 4, right? So Yamaguchi, I think, is going to step up next, and then Momoi for the anchor. But we'll see. We'll find out. Either way, Fujimura, Saso, starting things off. Saso already sniping out the drive rush.
That bad cycle blitz gets punished for it. Fujimura in there, and I like the crushing leg kick and the walk back with the stand pierce, but get something off of it. Once again, hella meaty off the heavy kick. Drive rush, or I'm sorry, kill rush. Saving the bar. OD to cut through the fireball, keep him at bay. Let the bar spin right now.
Yeah, Fujimura is going to be the one on the back foot, so he's kind of letting the fireballs dictate the pace first to mask his approach. But Saso has just been so active in sniping out that forward movement. Multiple callouts against Fujimura, leading the first round in his favor. Getting the flicker from that far away.
Now you have to do that. OD fireball has to switch up here. It's expensive, but you have to cut through some of these limbs, and also the flicker too as well. Okay, he's able to get a nice little micro walk throw. Fujimura now trying to switch it up, but too far for the dive kick to hit.
Oh, back-to-back sweeps. I appreciate that from Fujimura, even if it whiffs the first time. Saso getting baited into it, thinking he was going to be in range to get the punish counter. But what do you do as Ed now stuck in the corner? Fujimura has accomplished his mission. Oh, no, I lied to you. It was a setup. It was the sleep mattress promo.
The repeated. A ton of damage right there. It's been dumped up continuously with the perfect parries. Standing on 10 toes, even up in the corner. We thought it was a problematic thing. Nah, it was a plan the entire time. Being able to get that, I guess level 2, you want a lot more off that Dream combo, but have the range to be able to get that 4 fierce, the DPs right after, the kill rush, all that good stuff that we'd expect. Man, just the defense overall from Saso has been fantastic. As I say, this gets blessed low, ends it with a DP, Fujimura in there with the medium punch. DP ender.
Damn, that was medium. What a sequence, too. Fujimura really capitalizing on some of these openings into big damage. The exchange, oh, that could have been so dastardly. It still is. The side switch on the way over. Saso gets the forward throw. Now he gets to dictate the pace. Up close this time. Throw again. Set up the flicker. He's going to hold it to drain the meter. Very smart.
Very dastardly. Counter hit jabs every so often, was pecking away. And again, the perfect parry, just to be able to get in that walk-up range to have a button right after. That has been the secret to success, to put him to rest. Perfect parry, have a button right after. You got to be able to OD fireball or something, switch up the fireball times. Fujimura's getting a little bit too obvious on what he's doing with that projectile.
That was hella damage. He didn't even need a level 1. That's crazy. Oh, you're within range to get sucker punched too. Don't get hit. I told you were about to get sucker punched. Oh, he didn't go for it. That could have been an early burnout against Fujimura. Oh, this guy Saso is so on point right now. This is the best we've seen him play. Quite frankly.
See what they do. He's got the damage to do it. He's got the drive gauge to do it as well. A good 2 drive rush cancels right here. Should be able to steal it. OD. We're gonna go right to the. I'll put this man to sleep. Hands like NyQuil.
Yeah, you're in the corner too.
Level 1 as well.
You can get the level 1. No. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. Sasamo with a pretty critical drop, but still manages to psych Fujimura out into that guess situation. That throw, it closes it out. 2-0 Fujimura. What redemption? What revenge arc? That was filler, baby. We skipping that.
If Fujimura really gave him tips, I don't know, I'd be kind of salty after this. You know, gave him, you got beat and you gave him the secrets to success. And I feel like part of that was going for the perfect parries at the proper ranges or having the right buttons right after. It's like, okay, these fireballs are problematic. What am I doing? And Fujimura, I feel like he did not adjust. We saw the OD fireball every so often, but not enough where it would deter the likes of Saso with his perfect parries. Maybe even charge up level 2, just kind of dash up a little bit, change up the timings. I feel like it's a little bit too obvious and allowed for too many moments of damage access. And honestly, even with that drop, Saso was still saying solid, and I felt like Fujimura was like, listen, you got it, bro. Up in the corner, there's a throw, and no lick back today.
Not ever. That's it. That's the second run back. You're not getting that run back ever again. Unless it's going to be in the playoffs, that is a done deal. Sasamo 2-0s him here. He 2-0s him in the season. That feels pretty good from the Fukushima IBUSHIGIN camp with 155 to their name now. It's going to be Momochi stepping up to plate instead of Yamaguchi. Interesting. Huh. Well, I mean, Hamiko's choice, not going to be the choice today. Now, it makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of data that came with that week 4 bust down with Kosa between him and Yamaguchi. Let me double check just in case. With Fukushima IBUSHIGIN. Sorry, week 3. Shinobism Gaming and Fukushima IBUSHIGIN. Right? Yamaguchi actually got busted up by Kosa 2-0. The IBUSHIGIN camp has been really dominant against Shinobism Gaming. Funny enough, though, Momochi 3-0'd Kakaru and opted to go second instead. How do you feel about that?
I feel like it's weird because I feel like if you're gonna set up an Ed, I feel like if you're gonna set up an Ed for this position, for this whole thing, you gotta set up Momochi. I feel like he's a little more accomplished, a little bit more solid to fight someone like Kosa, because I think Kosa's an Ed killer. We've talked about this a million times. You see it in his game plan, very slow, methodical when it comes to breaking down the Ed players. I think he's got the best game plan to fight this character with Ken. If you're gonna send up an Ed, you send up someone that can definitely do it. However, I feel like it would be a better overall position to put Momochi at the very end, defeat Kakaru, get a 30-10 right there, because now you might have to go for a 25-20 in either side. Like, I don't know if that's better. You want as many points as possible. I don't know if this is a good idea.
I might have to agree with you now. This is a very, you know, we talked about this before with the Shinobism camp in the previous seasons. I think they had a little bit of a, I want to say, misjudgment towards their home player decisions. I think there wasn't a lot of team synergy in regards to like the decision making, in regards to who would play up against what. Oh no, it happened in the previous season. I think we had mentioned that in the previous season where they weren't accumulating as many points because they were giving themselves such rough matchups. At least player to player, not character to character. But this is interesting. I mean, like Momochi not being in the anchor spot. Normally, like he's had that kind of interview too with himself. He's like, I should have let my team. I should have trusted my team. I should have let my team kind of like take over in the anchor spot. In this particular case, I think Momochi would be in the clear to put himself in the anchor spot at least this week.
Yeah, I get it. You want to help lead your team to success, and rather than to be standing on your same, you know, height as well, and not just, you know, carrying them the entirety. But again, I feel like that would have been better. I feel like the way he plays against Kakaru is fantastic. We saw it before. I feel like even if Kakaru has that data he can run with from that loss, it may not matter as much. We'll have to see. You know, Momochi's going to go up. I think if this is also an absolute wash too as well, and Kosa takes down another Ed, they're in a bad position. Because now you have Yamaguchi to rely upon. He's an anchor. We do or die. But I'm prophesying some demise. Let me stop that into this match right here. Strong start already. Momochi initiating with crouching medium punch into the fireball. The spark Gonna find some success, get some bumper right there with the drive rush right after. Yes, sir, the backdash
a little bit
caught.
too far. Yeah. He got the initial hit, but a little tough to convert. But I love that conversion too off of the counter hit light. Forward throw. Opts to do it again. He's still playing in a really awkward spacing too, man. He is so unpredictable right now. You can't tell if he's gonna go for the flicker. Yeah, he walked up just a little bit to get the punish counter. He is ridiculously good right now. He has sniped out every defensive option that Kosa threw out against him. That was a very impressive perfect. And off to a very aggressive start again. He drive rush, he threatened his face. Still manages a counter hit opening. Uppercut, dash on in. Punish counter all the way through against the Tatsu. He was ready.
Can't do that even more this season. Any more recovery. I like the way he's playing against Kosa. He's not allowing him to establish that like walk forward confident game. Stand fierce, Jinrai. Jump light kick. There's the back throw, puts him up in the corner. Okay, Kosa gotta make the most of this. He's got a lot of things to work with. He's got the toe tap at the proper ranges. Just don't miss-space that. That's an easy punish for the likes of Ed. But look at that. As he tries to establish something, Momoi just walks up, crouching medium punch and a drive rush right after to initiate his pressure. Counter hit right after the 5-piece. Drive rush light, the tick throw. Back in the corner you go.
Momochi just waiting patiently, inching his way out of the corner yet again. Kosa is not applying pressure against Momochi and fears something. And we're trying to figure out what exactly. If you can't apply that pressure, Momochi's going to take pretty much the round, pretty much game one. And it's tough. Kosa likes to play this kind of defensive style, kind of like this passive style that we're already used to seeing. I think Momochi is one to snipe that out. Yeah, he's just as patient, if need be. Actually, he doesn't need to be. I think he does a great job of breaking down people's defense that like to play passive. Historically.
You're right. Without just 6, 5, 4. The way he's just kind of piecing up, you can see it right now, the way he's piecing up the defensive mechanics as you had mentioned, the backdashes are getting got. Even if Kosa wants to establish like the walk-up, you see Momochi with a preemptive walk-up, he's just been able to read the intentions of Kosa perfectly. And again, I think that's the way you got to play this matchup. You have to kind of walk in with the heavy kicks, the toe taps, you know, poke with the fireballs. All those are getting disallowed. He's preemptively poking. He's preemptively seeing a lot of counter hits just in general. You're seeing him walk up with stand medium kick. You see him walk up crouching medium punch or dash crouching medium punch drive rush right after. You see him do, as you mentioned, the fake outs. He's like kill rush back a little bit, waiting for like a defensive DP or whatever it may be, drive reversal, whatever it is. And even if it's not coming out, Kosa's like, well, damn, I can't do anything because he's already 3 steps ahead. He's not even steps ahead. He's like 3 4s up. Like, what am I going to do? So Kosa doesn't get to establish anything. He feels like he's lost. Whenever I watch Kosa play on the streams or even when he's in tournament and such, you can definitely tell a difference between when he's confident and when he's not. And right now, he is stupefied.
It seems that way, hence why we have to take the time out in the first place. He is consulting with his team, but just to kind of give you an insight, we had that interview going in with Kosa. He obviously recognizes and acknowledges that Shinobism Gaming truly is a strong team. All of their players on a mental aspect are very, very calm. He's never played Momochi in Street Fighter 6, so he's pretty excited to see how this goes. So with that detail, you could see Kosa trying to figure out the steps. In the meantime, Momochi, he's taking the elevator up, baby. He doesn't even need to be on the pace that you're playing at. He's already way above you, as you had mentioned. We talk about Momochi in his interview. He was trying to say that he's going to make all of the games count. Well, he's doing a great job right now. I think getting that first game against Kosa is a pretty big signifier that he's confident in both the matchup and also the way that Kosa wants to play. So we'll see whether or not Kosa has it in him to find the adjustments. Maybe he'll be aggressive. Maybe he'll have a little bit more of an active style on defense. We'll find out. Oh, immediate punish counter against the low medium.
The flick of the dash up again. The counter at times have been fantastic. Another counter hit. Mochi, he kill rush back to drive rush forward. This man is so hard to predict. He jabs him, the throw right after. Kosa on the back foot. Holding prayer not being strike this, that crouching medium punch is so dangerous up in the corner. Drive rush jabs to open him up. One more sequence to seal the dang deal. Stagger the stand medium kick, open up. Momochi trying to go for the stroll and the walk-up throw. It's one more touch scenario. An OD fireball will kill a Steve's a breeze.
Oh, you know.
It's an overhead.
Momochi's looking for that instant overhead. A flicker will do it. A fireball will do it as well. What an interruption. Kosa has an opportunity. corner to corner, mid-screen to corner, excuse me, knocking on the door 3 times, nobody's home. But knocking down below, Momochi could have been in trouble.
So careful. No drop kick. Slap the 4, fierce connects. Look what he did, but he's dead. It's wild to see him spin no bar for that drive rush after the crouching medium punch, but go for the OD fireball when he backed away. It's a very strange, I don't see Kosa do it for this matchup. Now to level 2, we see this quite a bit. Momochi, bit of an awkward setup right there, but you'll get him up in the corner and a decent amount of damage. Not too bad. It's been so dominant, may not even matter. Half health already gone. The dash up throw once again. Meaty with the spark. Interrupts the driver with the medium punch, a little bit too shallow.
Jesus, he is so mobile right now. Momochi has been playing at such a high speed. And Kosa has not been able to keep up.
He's getting lapped. He's gonna have to OD fireball. You're gonna have to do so to initiate. Hard to drive rush jab, you get interrupted, even more so this season, where the jab is now for drive rush. Damn, many people clip that. We've seen it already happen a lot. Oh, stare down.
Just jumping back out to reset the spacing too. Momochi at 2 bars, by the way. A single big hit confirm from outside of Momochi. That could have been Dastardly, actually. Off of that light. Oh, we got to. Oh, yes, sir. 100% he gets this. That's 1. More than enough damage. Momochi putting Kosa to sleep pretty easily.
I told him, don't do it. He did it anyway. Drive rushing is not a good thing against someone so alert like Momochi and a character like Ed, who it's wild to think about. Earlier, like in Ed's genesis of like him being built as a character, was like people were like, oh yeah, you can't check drive rush, stuff like that. But now you see the Ed players perfectly placing their buttons where they need to be to get the victory. And the timings have been so good for Momochi, as you mentioned. He is just so good about reading what the other person wants to do, their attention, getting so much off the crouching medium punch, especially. There are some good moments, but even things like that are so risky. I'm surprised to see Kosa even go for that option. That means to me like that man is just on the back foot too much. He's like, what is this Ed? This is not the same Ed that I see or usually fight. That's why I think they set up Mochi to get like that victory, to like clean off this guy who could definitely take down any Ed that comes this way. But Mochi is a different beast. Now, it has to be Yamaguchi. It cannot be, in my opinion, Johnny, unless he's got one of the most banging bisons in the business. It just cannot be. Unless there's been a bison hiding in the pockets that has been built up to be as ridiculous as DCQ, Problem X, and all that stuff like that. Whatever you bring up is got to be, it's got to be Yamaguchi. It cannot be Johnny.
I'll put my money on it. It's gotta be Yamaguchi. Yeah, I don't think there's gonna be any question about that. I think Yamaguchi has been putting out some pretty good looks in the way that he performs as Ed. Has a little bit more of a reactionary style. Unless there's gonna be a different theme going on, because Momochi playing the way he played, that was the most aggressive Momochi I've ever seen thus far. So we'll see. Maybe there's something different in the water for Shinobism Gaming. We're going to find out momentarily. Yamaguchi, though, stepping up to the plate. His overall record, not too bad. 4 out of 6 wins, I got to say, from the matches he's played. And all of them being in the 10-point positions, right? You could see his W's there. He had W's against Saishunkan Kumamoto, against Nagoya. Let me be more specific here. He's beaten Daigo. He's beaten, I want to say, who was that coming in? Oh, it was Mochi. There you go. He's beaten Kawano, and he's also beaten John Takeuchi. You know who he didn't beat, though?
Who?
Kosa.
Ooh, see, again, Kosa the Egg Killer. But again, Mochi shows us something different than that matchup and how he should run the anti-Kosa gameplay. But now, right here, Kakaru, looking at his schedule, his matches and how the schedule went for him, 5 out of 10 in terms of wins and total games, so he is half and half. He's played a lot. Most recently, it looked like he played against Otani, and when he played against this team, he won, or no, he lost against Momochi, and that was in the anchor position. we get an interview here from Kakaru, but as mentioned, like Kakaru's kind of on fire recently after the World Warrior. He's been doing a lot of good work. The players in Japan still rate him one of the highest and strongest Japanese players, even if the results aren't always there, because I mean that land is ridiculous in terms of who's cycling, who's winning the World Warriors and other tournaments. It's just a continuous cycle of 20 to 30 players that are just insane on the day. But I gotta imagine, because the fact that he lost to Momochi, he'll be ready for the Ed matchup, so Yamaguchi's gonna have to show something different. I agree with you. I think you have to be a little more active, because I feel like Kakaru is like an all-arounder, and as mentioned, he is he's the perfect parry prince. He's got that side of defense that's a little bit more different than other players. It's not just like I'm gonna smash perfect parry at the right timings. It's when he's blocking, he's properly blocking, he's reversal jabbing and things like that have led him to stay solid with a character that doesn't really have that much health, and also with Bison doesn't have that great of defense comparatively. Kakaru says, I was expecting Momochi, as were we, but I was preparing for Yamaguchi as well. It's a big difference after this game to have 30 points or losing and taking home 10 points. I'll do my best.
He's not wrong. 30 points would shoot them up to 175, leapfrogging over Saishunkan, Seoul, Kumamoto, at least for a temporary moment, because we still have to see the Sunshine team play. But I will say it puts them still behind Shinobism Gaming, because they're currently in second place with 180 points, not including today's victory from Momochi. I think right now Fukushima IBUSHIGIN playing catch-up. They're doing a pretty good job. They need this set to really help them out these next couple of weeks, which is pretty obvious, right? I mean, with how many weeks are left in regulation play, you need to get as many points as possible at this point. Fukushima IBUSHIGIN with a powerhouse team, them not making it into the playoffs would be pretty tragic, in my opinion. But that's just how it goes here at Street Fighter League Japan. Almost every team here is significantly stacked.
100%. Here we go. 30 points. Team's gonna land it. All right, see the switch up here. Walk forward after the fireball. I like that. Not just staying in the same spot as Fujimura was doing. You see a slight walk up and a sweep against the spark. Able to get that side switch and then throw right after it. Drive rush forward. Fierce trying to find an opening. Backs off for the DP. Nice and perfect. The backdash is there, yo. Yamaguchi with the read and finds a meaty heavy.
A little bit tougher in Burnout. With the pacing that Yamaguchi was playing at and how much he was kind of like dictating the pace, it really left him susceptible to a lot of the barrage that Kakaru was presenting to, and then him just kind of opening up Yamaguchi. You could tell Yamaguchi was just kind of backing away, was trying to at least create some space away from himself to buy some time, and Kakaru had sensed that. His game sense has been so powerful against a lot of the players in the world, right? But Yamaguchi sticking to his guns, the big backdash, and a fully fledged punish counter off of a crouch jab into standing fierce. Oh boy. Oh boy.
That's level 1. You don't even need it to get it done. In fact, there's another bounce before anything else needed to happen right there. Yamaguchi is a little better, even though he's put up in that corner position. I did like Kakaru to go for the side switch right there, but that only allowed him to have the room to run the dream sequence. Oh no.
That was sick. Calling out the fireball like that, doing a drive rush sweep, that was mad far. Oh boy, yeah, you got to keep it honest. Oh no, the drive out for both. The burnout, excuse me.
Yeah, both the burnout. Suppressor style could come through, it could be dangerous, but same for the side of Ed. Medium ways to play with the flicker. Dive kick. Oh no, he whipped the DP immediately to Sip of Calamity.
You might be dead. Not a lot of damage, or sorry, not a lot of scaling. I lied to you. That was low forward into animated fist in level 3. Still leaves him alive, and Yamaguchi, there was not much he could do left about it, right? Because of that level 3 activation, it allowed Kakaru to regain his drive gauge faster than Yamaguchi, which allowed him to apply pressure even more so to get that chip damage potential. But Yamaguchi either way got caught trying to slip away. First game going to Kakaru.
How active Kakaru is. Try to go for the dive kick. The DP is there. It's the entire choice. Interruption with the knockdown. Cycle Blitz. What's after? Slight walk back. Kakaru checking and challenging a lot of these shimmy scenarios. And a whip punish. Hard to do against his character. Sweep again. Able to whip punish the button. Using these longer range normals when need be. As soon as I say that, the 4-minute kick Gets clipped. He did something after it, though. Heavy with it in terms of the damage and the button utilized. Yamaguchi sticking to him like glue. Right in the momentum whenever he gets a chance and opportunity. But do like Kakaru being able to have these moments where he's able to punish some of these buttons to get knocked down and such.
Wasn't able to catch the landing frames on Akuma for the Demon Raid. Kakaru successfully getting himself out of the corner. Gonna be taking his turn now after the blitz. Now being able to connect, Yamaguchi has not been able to find some of these normals that Kakaru's been throwing out, and it was up to, yeah, I was gonna say, it was just a matter of time until Yamaguchi is able to snipe at least something. Kakaru's been flailing a lot of normals right in front of his face.
Oh, he's trying to put that heavy kick on the way down, but couldn't time it right. It's about to be a level 3 for the victory. One thing I'm noticing is Kakaru's going for a lot of forward medium kick, which I'm surprised to see. It's been clipped and hit continuously, or what's after has been checked and challenged. And that's led to so much damage, and Yamaguchi has sniped it out, as you mentioned. The great thing about Yamaguchi is, like, if you show me something, I will punish it. I will catch it whenever I can.
It's just a matter of consistency now. I think Kakaru had already witnessed that. It's like, all right, well, if you're going to try to whiff punish me, I'm going to throw out certain limbs to kind of get the counter poke game going against you. But instead, that's not going to be how it's going to play out for the opener. Already getting Yamaguchi into the corner because of that big low medium kick exposure. Now letting the toes do the talking for medium kick to gauge the distance against Yamaguchi. But this back throw is going to be a pretty great way to get yourself started, Yamaguchi. I'm liking this. Oh, punishable.
Already ducking. No goose. Flicker, the dash up. He's able to drive rush and cancel. Break the throw. You already knew it was coming through. Whip punish again at the proper distance. I feel like you just use that button. The stand medium kick ain't doing too much here. Forward medium kick, I'm sorry.
Target combo into the Tatsu, plenty of damage. The frame kill just makes it so ambiguous. Not dead just yet. A very important tech. Yamaguchi can still make it happen. The dream is still alive, so to speak. You have level 2. You have drive gauge. Oh, even more so now.
Oh. Careful the recovery in that dive kick. That clipped the hit like the OD fireball though. It's a one touch scenario. It's walking away just to find that one little hit. Honestly, you can run out the clock. You got 20 seconds. You can play lane with this character when you got the lead. Play the lane game with fireballs and 4 fierce, and there we go. The variance, too much for Yamaguchi to deal with. This is what we wanted to see from Fujimura. We saw a lot of heavy fireballs and not enough variance with like a charge up or like a light one every so often. Walking with different areas to make it a little bit more ambiguous of what you're gonna throw out.
From further on out, we're gonna see Yamaguchi move his way on in with the counter hit. Forward fierce, catching it. Yamaguchi pressing buttons where he shouldn't have. Damn! Yes, you know, you treat it similarly like the Sonic Cross or the Sonic Blade from Guile, still being susceptible down below, but I'm gonna hold that thought. Yamaguchi just unloading a gang of damage towards both the life and the drive gauge. We'll see that burnout. You already know it. Yamaguchi, what do you have for him now? Still not catching the landing
no back throw. Oof. Has level 2 if he wants to get through some of these like flickers. Answer with the fireballs if need be. Has to get the proper range. Don't get baited. Dive kick trying to hit something. Uh-oh. Chipping away, but the bar's back now. And that's when he dashes in for the crouching kick. Drops the combo. Oh, that could have been so much more. You're almost back at burnout. The fireball to lock him down. The old Sperry. Oh, he's trying to get the whip punish, but the timing wasn't right.
Oh. Again! Kakaru has been so sharp about the fireball usage from Yamaguchi. Again, very, very similar to that situation. I was holding that thought. When Guile lets out the Sonic Blade, right, there's still an open hurt box down below. Kakaru had already figured that out games ago. Yamaguchi still thinking he could throw it out there for the potential fireball war. Kakaru is just going to easily get that punish.
Same thing with Kakaru using the forward medium kick and getting with punish for that. He'll use it every so often, but way less now. Yo, game point though. Kakaru. Fireball with that forward medium kick gets nothing at all. So he's content to hold it back. Anti-air can cycle blitz because it was high enough to fly. Drive rush but he breaks though. Whip punish. He's like almost goading him to using that normal, I feel.
Again!
Kick hits in the OD. Golly.
Brother.
Bring him out.
Yeah, that fierce. And guaranteeing it too. That was actually quite sneaky. I had a feeling after that burnout, he was immediately going to the drive impact. I didn't think he would cancel off of that fierce. That was pretty impressive, man. So sneaky.
Uh-oh, as soon as I say that, caught on the walk-up with the Stampede Kickstarter. Deep with the heavy. I feel like he's been hit with every heavy that's come through on the wake-up. Tries to walk back, try to go for the back throw. Kakaru very aggressive on wake-up. It's a side switch, perfectly done. The DP, a lot more recovery than you might think. Everything Tatsu in there. Break up for the throw, he breaks though. The go-to here for Kakaru. Stampede kicking the throw right after. To switch it up a little bit. Gets hit level 3 to get the victory and keep himself up in the game. Very expensive spin.
Yeah, pretty expensive, but again, it just keeps him within the game. Having a round is much more important at this point. Yamaguchi, you gotta figure this out, man. Setting up the flickers, you already know it. Drive rush again. Kakaru not ready for it.
Yamaguchi's being a lot more bar than you would see like Momoi utilize, right? I feel like that also is kind of getting him a little bit more in trouble. It's less he can do with the bar, less with the OD fireballs and things like that to establish. Able to land the anti-air. Rush again for the throw this time. He breaks. Yo, Kakaru is teching for his life. The will to tech.
That wasn't a punish counter, but still, I don't think Kakaru knew what side he was on. It wasn't even a counter hit, but shit, Yamaguchi's still gonna close it out. All of the very simple mistake. I think Kakaru, I want to say he didn't know he was going or what side he was gonna be on, but I also don't think that's true either. Because there wasn't a punish counter. I can't even imagine, or there wasn't even a counter hit. So he didn't press the button. I can't imagine what was going on through his mind at that moment. Either way, 2 games apiece.
Comes out of this. That 30 with punish with this 4-meter kick and a sweep right after for that hard knockdown. Delays the crouching meter punch, but nothing after it. Drive rush in between the gap. Starts off with the pressure deep for the jump. Fierce. Breaking the throw. Kakaru looking for that crouching meter kick. No hit though this time. Beautiful interruption. He saw the green and he was ready with the counter hit combo. Finally, we blocked that heavy on wake up. That's the first time I feel in a long time. Period's in.
I was a little unsure too. Seems like Kakaru, with the amount of damage, the amount of hits in that combo, him going for the level 2 to ensure it, it makes a lot more sense.
Sure the kill. That point, Kakaru.
Well, that was a counter hit. A little bit of a delay from Yamaguchi.
Yeah,
Tick throw, does get baited. Oh, he tried to move.
It's resets. Do that back heavy kick. Kakaru still lacking, so I can help. Not anymore. Why do you keep going for that spark? This man has proven it to you. How many times do I have to show you this before you learn? Dive kick, trying to hit the fireball quickly. Look at the crouch.
Oh, he dropped. Oh, Yamaguchi has a chance. And it's Yamaguchi at least tying it up. He does fulfill his legacy, man. I gotta say, he had a small chance to get that opening against Kakaru.
Kakaru still drops. As soon as I say that, he's able to whip punish. Drive rush throw, reassessing. Gonna throw right after, overhead. Blessings from above. Christening that cranium. DP level 3.
No.
Not gonna kill. One more interaction will though.
Nah, you might be dead. Because he was targeting the yellow, perhaps? No, he's barely living. Don't do it. Don't drive impact him. Don't overhead. Please, Lord. Uh-oh. No shot. 3. Hey, you get the burnout off of this too.
It's doable, Yamaguchi. It's doable. Goad him to the corner. The neutral jump against the flicker. How did this guy know? He hold Norton put this deuce out. I cannot believe he called that flicker out. Are you kidding me? Bro.
I was already praising Yamaguchi. I was going to say, you know, he was about to fulfill the legacy of being one of the greats with Ed, but not this time, not in this story. Kakaru in control, having the appropriate reads against the flicker, the held down flicker for Yamaguchi, anticipating or at least thinking that Kakaru was just going to sit idly by and just take it. I can't believe that happened. I'm genuinely perplexed as to how that happened.
Yes, it's one of those things where you see them in burnout, you hit the flicker continuously, so why not, you know, I guess hold north that situation, but how would you know in that last sort of burnout scenario where there's been so many stagger steps from the side? Look at that, that was actually just godlike. Beautiful player reads. We've seen a lot of player reads throughout the entire match. You saw him using that back heavy kick, a little bit of a reset right there. We saw him go for the adamant flame and then kind of reset for the back throw too as well. So he's been doing a lot of like player reads to kind of either get positional advantage or more damage, whatever it may be, the victory. And Kakaru with those fantastic punishes on the spark, as you mentioned, with that sweep, and also using that button to whip punish when the forward kick would not connect. Well done. He really did well in that matchup. Yamaguchi wasn't too far behind, though. I feel like it's a, I don't want to say it's a freak accident, but it's one of those things where I'm surprised that even I am still. How did he know that?
He did delay the jump. I think that's more so Yamaguchi falling asleep at the wheel. Not ready for the speed bump either. But Kakaru having the right decisions towards the end of that is what really ascended him above that matchup against Yamaguchi. Really. That momentum was totally in Yamaguchi's favor, but just a little too late, right? Not enough life behind him to really like make it count, unfortunately.
Perfect parry Prince, also perfect in terms of reading the opponent what they want to do. Takes it for a US 30 totality, and that leads them to IBUSHIGIN gets 185. That means Shinobism Gaming
75
away with 10 in their pocket.
175.
Oh, 175. Math is hard in the morning, my bad. Saishunkan Kumamoto will be 155 right now. We'll see what happens with them. But Shinobism Gaming is at 180, so that's 10. So 190 for them, and how they equalize things. So.
Yeah, I mean, despite all that effort, I mean, Shinobism Gaming at least gets to walk away with 10, still maintaining their position currently in second place. It could change, however. Depending on how Saishunkan Soul Kumamoto performs today, they could get a big 40 bomb today. But that'll only put him just 5 points above Shinobism Gaming. So we'll see how that plays out. Either way, still so very close. Shinobism Gaming having a little bit of a comfort zone to give away a few points with 3 weeks left. Of course, they're not going to feel the greatest about it, but could be far worse, right? Could be far, far worse.
Interviews here, Yanai saying, really want to thank the team. Now we have a bigger chance of going to the playoffs, of course, of course. Saso says, we were really calm and relaxed today, really happy. I feel like just the way Saso played today was, as you mentioned, probably the best I've seen him play, especially with Ed. So confident, so relaxed. Just really on form. Kosa, that was not the best game for me, but I now input Momochi's moves. I'll get revenge next time. So he's downloaded the text. He's understood the ways and wills of Momochi. Be able to get his lick back next time. But usually Kosa's the one to take down the Ed, so it was a smart pick to have Momochi go up. But again, to see if we would have saw a switch of Yamaguchi in second and maybe Momochi in third, maybe things would have been different. I don't know. Kakaru's playing on form though. I feel like he was playing well to the player. So I don't know if that would have been a switch up. If that would have been enough.
Who knows, man? Who knows? That could have been kind of it is a very interesting situation to put it at, like Momochi switching up against Kakaru. But I don't know, man. Yamaguchi did play well. He played extremely well. Yeah. So it's really difficult to even make that assumption that Momochi might have been able to take it down. looking at it too, even Kakaru, he'd recognize the same thing. He's like, you know what? It was a really good game. We both had good reads on each other's moves. That last lethal situation was just lucky. But I was ready for the burnout. Shades of no.
We talked about this before. Like, other players have watched it and they're like, wait a minute, maybe burnout ain't so bad. I feel like Akuma also, when you watch people like Kanano and a few of the other Akuma players, they know how to comfortably fight in burnout and they don't really freak out nearly as much. I mean, most players obviously don't since like the beginning genesis of like Street Fighter 6. But even more so, I feel like the players have like a good game plan of like how to calm things down, walk back, not give up too much space, know what buttons to utilize. Kakaru says, 2 more to go. Cheer for us until we make it to the playoffs, and they have a good chance to, as mentioned today, with 30 points more in their pocket. And a very dominant victory, I feel like, in some of these games. And it's a really good showing. Kosa, maybe the only one that wasn't, but I feel like if things were switched, maybe it would have been. Maybe not, who knows. But either way, I'm really happy to see Kakaru make these good player reads and keep up that same sort of success that he's had inside and outside the league in terms of his dominance. I mean, he's just a really good all-rounder. He knows how to shift the points into defense and offense. He's good about like, okay, I don't want damage here. I just want you to be put up in the corner so I can do the things that Akuma wants to do and deal out more damage. So really great stuff for this team. FUKUSHIMA, IBUSHIGIN, the new kids on the block have definitely been doing a lot of work. And it's good to see these new kids really do damage. I know a lot of people were like, you got some good players on your team, but yeah, but Daigo's over in this one and Kawano's over in this one. It's cool to see them rise to the occasion.
Truly, yeah, I'd have to agree to that. I think one of the Starlight players that we should kind of like highlight as well, Saso getting 2-0 against Fujimura again, but this time with 0 games dropped, was super impressive. I got to give flowers where it's due, man. Saso made such vast improvements to the Akuma matchup that it feels like he's going to be absolutely ready for any other Akuma going forward. And that's what I want to see going into the next couple of weeks. I want to see what happens with Saso's evolution. Well, everything sort of clicked for him against Fujimura in regards to all the training. I want to also see whether or not Kosa is going to keep his head up towards any of the other Ed players out there and figure that out as well. But it could have gone either way. In our first prediction, I think FUKUSHIMA, IBUSHIGIN. I personally thought that Shinobism Gaming would have been able to deliver the hurt because of their advantage being in the home squad with 2 Eds and an Akuma, right? That was always going to be the play, in my opinion. I don't think Johnny was going to be ready enough to like step up to the plate, so I was already assuming Ed, Akuma, Ed. But either way, it could have gone in the way of Shinobism Gaming. But FUKUSHIMA, IBUSHIGIN defying odds today, in my opinion. I think a lot of folks, even in Japan, had thought Shinobism Gaming would have taken it down from some of the polls that I've seen. But that's neither here nor there now. It's going to be FUKUSHIMA, IBUSHIGIN with 30. But a lot to talk about in the realm of Street Fighter, including Street Fighter Duel. That's been a very, very busy as of late, getting a lot of collabs as well.
Also, glad they're dropping the official soundtrack. Also, that beautiful art. Having Akuma in the back is super sick. As you mentioned, kind of like a throwback to the, what was it, Street Fighter 5 artwork?
Street Fighter
or is it
2,
the Alpha artwork? Street Fighter 2 artwork, my bad. But I like the artwork. I like what they're doing with like the DLC characters, showcasing what they have. I just like the cool things that Japan's pumping out and in full support. The original soundtrack, I wonder if it's going to have Terry's track on there. I wonder if there's some way I can buy this and have it shipped to my house. As you have mentioned millions of times, I want it too. Is there somewhere I could go, Capcom, to grab this? Why can't we have some Capcom stores in Chicago or LA or something like that? I would love to spend my hard-earned money out there. I would probably spend the money I'm getting from this to that, to be honest. Capcom, you're only going to be making
I would
bank,
do the same.
to be honest.
I would 100% do the same. This shirt, a lot of the jury line like shirts have been really, really cool. The keychains have been really cute as well. I think, you know, Capcom's been doing a great job of making it also fashionable. I think they've done a great job also with the quality of the shirts. I literally have a bunch of shirts, but I don't want to digress too far into it. Either way, you should check it out if you have access to it. In the meantime, we have match number 2 coming up. Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto facing off against NagoyaNTPOJA. We'll see you right after this. In the meantime, grab some snacks, grab some drinks. We'll see you soon.
それでは一旦失礼いたします。
Here comes a new challenger! First
Back with even more Street Fighter League action out here on the official restreams. Saishunkan, Kumamoto, NagoyaNTPOJA, and your commentators, me, Sankola, and Vicious. I'll take you through all the solicits action now. Let's get back to the ones that shine. Attack on heavy take. It's going to be Fudo coming through with an ever impressive and aggressive Ed. After that, we have got the legend, the beast that loves to feast upon his opponents. It is Daigo Umehara to become a world warrior and a well-traveled player out here compared with other people. With the Akuma, the prodigy, the one taught by the best. It's Higuchi becoming one of the best too as well. A standout star, as you had mentioned, Vicious, on the Guile. And last but definitely not least, the Brute King leading the team, Nemo, on that big boy Bison and the JP if need be, but we'll see if that's even necessary. That man loves to play a single-player game, and this team has been doing quite a bit of good work out here. Third place, 155 points as they come into this right now. We'll see how they land at the end of the day. Oh, those are nice. I don't think I've seen these before. Maybe I'm bugging. These are nice jerseys.
Kind of clean, most definitely. Going into the next squad, NagoyaNTPOJA, currently in 5th place with 115 points to their name, 115. I wanted to make sure to enunciate that correctly. 115 points to their name. They're going to need to take as many people down on their way through for these next 3 weeks, including this one. I got to say, man, as impressive as their pretty much resume and repertoire is thus far, with the players that they have, they really got to get these W's where it counts. Starting things off with a daredevil bounty hunter, Mochi, who we haven't seen as much just yet. Maybe we'll have a surprise this week. Toyama's talent, Otani, who's also been kind of like really proving his worth, I feel like, with the characters that he's been utilizing thus far, both Ken and Akuma. The man who's been carrying a lot of the Japanese players on his back, and I'll say it proudly, man, the battle consultant, this guy's a teacher, it's Tachikawa, all led by the guidance of the hammer, that is KB. Now, going into this, during Habeko's choice, there was a little bit of talk saying that Tachikawa should just remain as the anchor for the rest of these spots, but it really depends, right? I think with Saishunkan, Soul, Kumamoto in their current order, which we're about to reveal, it would make a lot of sense. Let's take a look at that reveal right now. For the away side, who are they gonna send up? And I gotta say, before we even talk about that, Higuchi has been so dominant. He's been highlighted throughout the entirety of Hameko's choice. He has so many points under his name, and he's currently at 100% win rate, which makes a lot of sense as to why he's the anchor. Prior to that, though, it's going to be Fudo and then Nemo stepping up to the plate as the middleman.
We'll watch a Nemo fight, bro. Just the way he makes it a single-player game, either he dies or you die, one of us not leaving. I love that sort of style. Fudo starting it off with the aggression we talked about with that beautiful Ed, and then ending it with Higuchi. I agree, though. I think Tachikawa was such a pick that you would almost put up for anchor almost all the time because he's so unpredictable, whether it be the way he plays with Modern, having the classic Ed if need be, the Manon as well. He's got these secret picks. He's, again, the type of person to be a student of the game and also a master of the game as well. I feel like that's just a very strong thing to have up in the anchor position. You never know what he's going to pull out at all. It's going to be Tachikawa off the rip. I wanted this to avoid Higuchi because Higuchi said, hey man, I love the Ed matchup. He's like, I piece up Eds all the time. I eat them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So if that's going to be the case, I guess he would like to avoid and go for not even a mirror match, a battle of classic versus modern.
Yeah, I've had a conversation with somebody about that too. I think it was Dr. African too. We talked about having a modern perspective with your player or with your character can really help you out with certain matchups, right? Like, he was talking about having the reactions on deck to kind of be a little bit of a an extra tool to stop some of your bad matchups where you actually have access to like quick supers, you have access to certain moves a little bit faster to combat some of the issues that kind of plagued your character. So we'll see. I mean, like, we had a long discussion about that over at ACT, but I didn't get the full gist of it because I haven't really played Modern like that, but he seems to have a firm understanding that, you know, maybe Modern could be the way if you have to go for a counter pick. Like, not necessarily leaving your character, but just switching up the controller schemes, too. Tachikawa's doing a really great job of balancing between both and also having both Ed and Manon, right? So I wouldn't be, like, too surprised if that actually came to fruition, seeing Ed in the mirror match be played out differently because of the fact that Tachikawa is playing Modern.
Being able to enter like a little bit easier because you have that Modern capability without having to drum out the full directional buttons. You just hit the forward and whatever button it may be to hit the Modern. I think that's one thing that he had mentioned over at the UFA, and kind of the reason why he plays Modern is because he's like, I can't anti-air, bro. Like I need help. Modern's able to help me out. So Fudo says, though, he still thinks the Manon might come out, but he thinks that this matchup overall isn't bad in terms of classic versus modern. Tachikawa says, I really respect him, but as much as I respect him, I still have to beat him today. He is like, listen, you a friend of me, but right now you my enemy. But it is crazy to see Tachikawa come up first, despite the fact that maybe Higuchi knows this matchup in and out in terms of like the Ed pick, no matter if it's modern or classic. To see him not an anchor, we'll see if this is a benefit. Last time, it was Oja winning 30-10, and it was KB from Oja that beat Daigo with his Bison, but Higuchi beat Seoul. Higuchi from Seoul beat Otani's Ken. The surprise pick from Manon with Tachikawa to beat Fudo's Ed last time, so that's why he mentions that character. We'll see if there's even time to switch out if necessary. Fudo with a very strong start right now. Kill rush throw, again, keeping that drive gauge nice and healthy. The drive rush up, but he gets a crouching medium punch with a snipe. Back to mid-screen. Kill blitz right after it. Neutral jump. Stand fierce. Looking for a button, nothing doing.
Man, a lot of the Ed players have been rather aggressive this week. Fudo trying to stay with the pack too. I gotta say, his aggression started off with a little bit of ambiguity, right? I think him holding onto the flicker and like releasing it at certain times to catch Tachikawa pressing the button was pretty important to set the pace, but Tachikawa being able to get it all back just within range. This guy is so good.
Saves the bar, took over the drive impact again, but Fudo, as Vitamin said, was ready for that drive impact. Yeah, a little bit too, but we've seen that from Tachikawa a lot. Stand fierce in a drive impact when they're up in the corner. We saw that in some previous matches with them. Fudo's locked on that little habit.
Yeah, the first one he got away with, I think, because of the range and where they were at in the stage, but the second one was a little overzealous in my opinion. Letting it rip, yeah, I guess, you know, I understand that. Just trying to restore some of the drive gauge. Find a little bit of balance too. Huge life lead right now. Tachikawa doesn't need to move forward, but it does anyway. It forces the burnout, and that's all she wrote. Flicker. Getting rid of the rest of the life bar.
Air to air. Level 2, get that new pickup. Yes, sir. The best combo. You'll take the damage, though. 1/4 health. Not bad. ODDP as a rebuttal here from Tachikawa. Charge up Sampier's to fake out. See what I got. No tap parry from the side of Fudo, though. Trying to go for the drive impact. It's a whip punish instead.
Yeah, try to anticipate the flicker. You actually saw Tachikawa go for that drive impact the moment that Fudo loaded it up, but punish for it instead. Fudo's been 2 steps ahead thus far in this matchup. The fireball is going to be ringing out for a while. Fudo able to hang back and play with it a little bit.
Fireball, yeah, having the bar to do so. Fudo willing to do so. Even if he's close to burnout, he's a one-punch scenario. And there we go. The punish counter catching the recovery. Fudo being able to keep that lead and secure it with that Udi fireball stuck in. I like the way that he keeps his drive gauge up. As soon as he's like a little bit low, he'll back off for the fireball play every so often. And then right there, throwing it out when Tachikawa at least expected it. First game, him no switch to Manon or to any different control scheme. If it has to be a switch up in strategy, I feel like here for Tachikawa.
Perhaps, you know, Fudo had mentioned it in his interview. He was absolutely ready for Manon just in case. You know, Tachikawa, the last time they met, it was in the anchor spot. Tachikawa took it down against Fudo with Manon 3-2. This is somewhat of a big surprise, in my opinion. Maybe if Tachikawa falters here, he might switch over to Manon, but I'd feel a lot more comfortable, and he would too if he could at least net a first W. Yeah, he was not even gonna have that chance because this is 2 out of 3. Excuse me. He's locked into this character no matter what.
That Woody fireball. Fudo will send that out. It's a cut through, drive rush, it's a sweep. The backdash is there. He was aware the throw was coming through, and this character is going to be able to easily punish with throws. With the backdash, it's going to be Ed. That's that point. Fudo with the fantastic reads on wake up. Interrupts the OD though. Try to go for the OD flicker. It's caught lacking.
Oh, that was a punish counter. Fudo didn't believe, but hey, he still baited Tachikawa into pressing the button either way. What a veteran decision.
Level 3. Spent nice and early. Try to get that lead. It's hard to work with. He's not done yet. Morpheus looking for a punish counter. It's low. He takes back his turn and takes some life away from Fudo. Staving off set point. But again, no bar at the bottom here for Tachikawa. Will come back to bite him like last time.
Gonna counter throw. Tachikawa's trying to press buttons upon wake up. The flicker pretty up close too. Tachikawa forced to eat that. Can rush backwards.
No, the interruption.
Man, Tachikawa has not found success in a lot of the moves he was trying to look for. That's gotta be deader than dead. He was way past the yellow before the level 3 even rung out. And it's gonna be Fudo. 2 games straight, ending it in a perfect. That is rough to see. A huge difference going in from their first bout as anchors to their second meetup as the starters. Not as we expected.
About that Manon, bro. Should have surprised him with the Manon pick. That would have did something different. But honestly, it felt like there was a clear strategy for the side of Fudo. He's more willing to use his ODKs, the OD fireballs every so often. The flicker and fireball variance was a lot more from his side of things. And he was like, cool, if you go for that perfect parry, or even if you go for like a normal parry at this distance, I still have a rebuttal right after. If you try to drive rush, I'm going to clip you and hit you. And look at that, the air-to-air right there from Fudo able to land that level 2. Not the most significant combo, but the fact that he was able to gain that damage when Tachikawa took the skies and get a proper punish. And again, trying to drive rush in against someone like Ed and someone so clean like Fudo and so aggressive with his buttons, hard to stop him. Bar usage 2 at the bottom. Surprised that Tachikawa was using that level 3 a lot more in that second round or second match, round, should say. Surprising to see that, but I guess he had to do so to get a leg up, but that shows to me that he was on the back foot so continuously. Now with Tachikawa not establishing any points and that being the person that's led the most for your team, how do things go from here? I would assume KB would be the anchor match. Otani maybe in the middle. Mochi, I don't know where Mochi would even go here.
Yeah, it's got to be Otani coming up next. I'm not too confident right now, with all respect towards Mochi. I'm just not confident in the way he's been handling Street Fighter 6 thus far, in terms of like how he wants to play the meta, how he has to face off against certain players. I think it would be a very severe mismatch if he were to step up against someone like Nemo, who is just so creative in both offense and defense, playing a powerful character on top of that, and also just being a Street Fighter and Versus Series veteran in comparison, right? I think Otani just makes a lot more sense stepping up to the plate, as we've seen the way he's been piloting his Ken thus far and really staying sharp amongst all the other killers out in Japan. It does make a lot of sense that he's going to be going up second, and I think Hameko had said the exact same thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. Mochi might be ready for a typical Bison, but as you mentioned, Nemo's not a typical Bison. We've seen this dude run raw sweep up in neutral. We've seen him have these, again, as you mentioned, fancy and just ridiculous combos that just don't let you play the game. And he's just hard to predict. You know, your typical Bison is nowhere near the way he is. He is a very good blueprint for how you should be playing the character. Now, Otani, though, as you mentioned, very sharp, and I want to see how this matchup goes, because I feel like a lot of the Ken players, as things go on, just do not like how the mid-screen neutral is, because the buttons, the punishment that comes through. With a heavy kick, it's a crouching medium punch. If you're too close to the toe tap, he's got an easy light punch that can lead into so much off of a bomb, or if he wants to go for like a scissor kick right after and force a strike throw mix right after it. If you put the character in the back or put him in the corner, you can definitely cook him up. But someone like Nemo has had some really like difficult moments where it's hard to read what Nemo wants to do. He'll wake up level 1, you don't expect. He'll drive reversal, you don't expect. He'll delay crouching medium punch when you don't expect. He's hard to read even on defense, which he is on offense. Now, getting an interview here from Nemo, he said, I was expecting him, so I trained for Ken, hoping I could do a good game.
Kind of curious to see how this is going to play out, genuinely. I think a lot of the accolades and the success that Nemo has can be kind of daunting, right? Like he's got such a firm understanding of how like Street Fighter games work to such an extensive degree. Not to take that away from Otani, but I feel like, you know, in terms of years active as a Street Fighter Pro, Nemo does have him beat. As to whether or not that truly applies in the game of Street Fighter 6, we'll find out, man. Otani has been doing a great job thus far, keeping himself, as we had mentioned, in the running for a lot of the pros out in Japan. But right now is the match in front of him is going to be all that matters, right? Getting these 10 points, at least getting themselves in contention for playoffs. We'll find out if that happens. Nemo already pretty aggressive, testing things out with the medium kick and also with the drive rush forward. Look at that, just being able to run ruck shot offensively against Otani. Sign of veteran prowess thus far.
Forcing the bust out here with the OD Shoryuken. Trade with the jab, back to mid-screen, but ooh, the fake out with the stand fierce catching. Some of his lips, we talked about that. Neutral, real good for Bison. Forces the burnout off the OD Psycho Crusher. Pressure for days. Has to find a level 1. He jumps out, or you thought he could. Says Nemo. More touch. Level 1. The bomb's about to go off. He enforces the light into the OD to get the kill, regardless. Very smart stuff from Nemo.
Yeah. I think he already saw lethal. He saw the line for it. As soon as the bomb went off, he kept it a true block string and went for the OD Psycho Mine again. That was really, really smart. But also, I like that. From Otani, showing that he's not scared. He's letting Nemo know how old he is. I like that. What a huge turnaround, too, in terms of momentum. Oh, that was cool. Uh-oh. Overstepping the boundaries, young man. Overhead connects. You're eating a gang of damage. Javits, is this you?
The Twitter clip. He doesn't go for the bomb. He calls out the drive reversal. The bomb's still there. The bomb is still there. It's about to go up. Empty loaded kill the scissor kick for the ultimate Psycho Crusher. This man is the ultimate single player game. Might as well be an RPG the way he is playing. You don't get the play. You might as well just watch the cutscene, says Nemo. This guy's good.
Mans is an entire Dark Souls boss. Just when you thought you have him beat, he pulls out something that is unpredictable. That was the most extra W you could ask for. Nemo up 1 game. And I love that, yeah, the micro step 2 after some of the strings to apply pressure and also check the walk back. Very, very good stuff. Punish counter on the throw, excuse me. Is it again? Bust out, he could have died for that, but had to do something. Otani's been taking so much pressure up in the corner. He has to vary up the approach. Jump Pierce does get the knockdown. Drive rush jab, tick throw again. Objective, put him to the corner. Breaks the second one though. Oh, the finesse and blast. Stand fierce at level 2, you know what to do. It's a nightmare when you're fighting the likes of Nemo. Set point. The Psycho Punisher. I didn't realize, you know, he's kind of got a Shadow the Hedgehog theme going on right now. You got like the red boots, all black everything.
I'll see it.
That's kind of funny, and he's going fast. It's pretty cool, man. Oh, on the way over too, yeah, the side switch, the classic walk under, get the punish counter on landing frames. The Psycho behind goes off. An important tech from Otani allows him, yeah, to alleviate the pressure with that jump out. But still taking to this guy's a little bit too much. Nemo ready with the answer above.
Never mind, locking Otani down. Force to interact with it, caught up in the corner. Blade crouching light, there's the air-to-air. OD gets the side switch, very smart stuff with the Dragon Lash. Does not get the cutscene though. He'll take this.
Fine, the damage is still
there.
there.
Level 1, he has level 1, I just said. This man has level 1 to get it done. You cannot read his rebuttals. And Nemo takes it. I'm telling you, man, I watch his stream. He cannot be content. When he wants to hit that level 1, it's of his own accord. You can't tell him no.
I think he had rounds to spare, he had games to spare. I don't think that decision was too risky in his mind, and for a lot of people too. Those that are watching the chat, I think they would agree with him. Letting that level 1 out in that opportunity in that moment, it just felt right.
Beautiful stuff, Nemo. Again, enforcing so much off that bomb. Was hesitation, and what can he really do, especially when the bomb is like 4 to 5 seconds about to go off? You're kind of holding that, right? You're kind of just like, okay, well, what do I do now? I'm hoping that I can block right after, and Nemo enforcing so many situations from that, taking advantage. I mean, there's some cool moments like the air there right there. Force knockdown. Did not get the cutscene, but Nemo again with that wake-up decision. He went for the jab, and it's all she wrote. So, the sun is shining on them. It's got to be KB to get the win right now. As we mentioned, Mochi, he's a good player, but in terms of what's presented out here against Higuchi, against a guy that is just the top dog out here in league, I don't think so. I think you set him up against somebody else, but not Higuchi. It's not that cat, bro.
I wouldn't trust it. If my tournament life was on the line, or if my entire bank account was on the line, I would not, with all due respect again, I would not send out Mochi just because he is... I think for a lot of players out here, they would be outclassed against Higuchi. It's not even just Mochi. Like, you have to really be considerate of who you're sending up against one of the lords of Guile, one of the gods of Guile. Yeah, it has to be KB. 100% has to be KB. Now, it's a matter of whether or not it's going to be a Bison or JP. Is it going to be JP? Ah, it's going to be Bison. Okay, never mind. I wanted to know if he would actually pull that out specifically for this matchup. I still think Guile has a rough time against Guile. Or sorry, Guile has a rough time against JP in the current meta. But I also respect the Bison.
It's a matter of just being more comfortable with the character. Like, I agree. I think JP still edges out against Guile. I think it would be like a more solid pick on paper, but I guess it's dependent on what KB has been playing a little bit more, and I'm assuming it is the Bison. We'll see if that does come to play. It is a first of 3, so there's time to switch if need be, but going back to KB and his defensive decisions, he just has the right reads on jump backs, with jump back heavy kick and things like that, the right timings on counter at mediums and things that we've seen. Even counter at light punch and a crushing medium punch has also led him outside the corner when things have gotten dicey. And they've gotten dicey for him, as you see. His recent schedule has not been so great, but Higuchi has been absolutely ridiculous. This is still a tall order. You know, KB is definitely one to be able to put pause to many players out here, but when it comes to someone like Higuchi, who's such a big lab rat, who's been so strong in terms of his online and offline results, it's going to be a really tall order, a tall ask to fight someone like, you know, to fight someone like Higuchi, that's a shining star. And this guy, watching him play Bison, how he is so confident running the Sonic Boom pressure, will throw a few Sonic Booms to kind of like get you to think that you can charge up, and while you think you can charge up, drive rush overhead, drive rush throw, whatever. He'll initiate off of that, right? It feels like he's like going into things that you think you can do to take them away from you, and then you're like, well, damn, I can't do that at all. And while you're pensive and you're passive, he punishes you. He just gets really a lot more aggressive, a lot more active with his Guile. He is definitely one to look at when it comes down to fighting Bison. Plus, you've got Nemo on your team. He knows, that guy knows how to play Bison. You got a blueprint right there to learn from. It's going to be hard, KB.
I think it's a very uphill battle. I think there's a lot to really consider in regards to just like the characters themselves. But one of the things that I noted from playing this matchup too, as I kind of like ventured back into Bison, Guile does a really great job of getting rid of your big damage opportunities. What I mean by that is, you're thinking about Guile, the way that he can kind of throw out different speed of booms, and you have to be really on point with your perfect parries. If you're not, you're getting your drive gauge drained out more often than not, which leads to even fewer moments to get big OD conversions, right? Or it would also lead you into burnout a lot faster, and that's gonna be like food for Guile, right? As soon as that burnout happens, he has level 2, he's got solid puncher, he's chipping you out, or even close to getting you burnt out. That situation is gonna be so ideal for Guile. So with that in mind, too, Guile being able to stop Bison dead in his tracks in neutral is going to be so interesting to see, mostly because of how the drive gauge is going to be spent.
This all being said, though, KB said that he did beat him in the Warrior. He was best to win here. That was a first of 2, though. What about a first of 3? What about Higuchi, who has had time to learn? Higuchi, KB, see if it's going to be a 40 bomb or that sudden death match way in the wings. See what happens.
You already see it right now, too. Man, what a stop to the drive rush. Higuchi still having that charge was pretty impressive. I didn't think he was maintaining that down charge, but he did do an upside down kick prior, so there's plenty of time.
That structure too as well. The upside down kick's really good against like crouching medium kick. It's a good poke button.
Yeah, it really is.
Against the crouching medium punch.
You can see KB kind of standing within a range to anticipate the sonic booms because of his drive gauge being a lot lower than he'd like. Up until this point, though, the sense of urgency is slowly starting to kick in for KB, and it's exactly what Higuchi wants, right? He's laid out the trap, and he falls for it nice and clean. Higuchi, he is just playing so well in terms of dictating the pace.
Sonic booms to start. When you get close, it's been buttons, which has been good, but drive rush, back heavy kick, interrupts the OD Sonic boom. Faster on the draw. There's a throw right after. We're going for the bombs about to go off. Another throw. Yeah, just make him hold 2 throws. It's quite a bit of damage that it does rack up. Nothing off that counter hit light. No commitment. Overhead? No. Backs away, looking for maybe level 1, possibly. Ooh. A little scary, too. Back-to-back drive rushes. Just like that, KB gets to maintain the corner. Do it again! I'm liking this! No fear! Higuchi's reluctancy to wake up with the reversal has been duly noted. So that continues. She can definitely start threading those in. It's level 1 though. It's a lead. Perfect parry on the boom. Falls the fireball though. Now the blade introduced just to have some distance between them. Drake Fang. The overhead. Again, Higuchi trying to keep this lead. The driver stand fierce. Respects the frames. I said he respects the frames, but he didn't against that back heavy kick. Can't control this cat. He's got the solid puncher as well. Or level 3 if he builds it up. He doesn't even need it, to be honest. Perfect parry and the punish right after. Level 3 this man. Keep up the bar. Yes, you can. Heavy kick.
This guy is
the
so
Sonic
sick.
Steppers. He's so clean. He's so clean. Perfect.
That sequencing built him just enough bar too. The spacing for the light boom to link into the step kick. Oh my god. That was the definition of finesse and bless. This cat can ball. He's the whole sphere. This guy is insane, man. Holy.
KB was like, wait a minute. What's going on here?
God, that was hard.
Don't worry,
He's like,
KB.
damn, that was hard,
Ball
man.
top, bro.
Yeah. Check up.
I did the OD.
It's either check up or check out, to be honest with you.
Might be check out. If Higuchi keeps the lead, it's definitely 11 a.m. You gotta go. All right. That's how it's been. I feel like Higuchi just gets the lead. He's just like enforcing you to do things that will either put you on the back foot or he can kind of like, I guess, like slim down. So we saw the Devil's Reverse Stomp. That got denied with the crouch fierce. We haven't really seen a lot of aerial approach because now KB is like, well, dang, I can't even do that. And I have to come to the ground. So like he's limiting the options that KB can do so he can slowly curtail him into things that he wants him to do so he gets a proper punish, as we saw with the perfect parry, gets the OD cycle crusher into the bar build-up for that level 3 for the victory. Very smart stuff from Higuchi. I mean, once he keeps the lead, he's able to, you know, hold it. Even though there were some throw loop-ins coming through, he got taken the throw loop-in for a little bit too long there. I still feel like when Higuchi's on the front foot and he's got that lead, it's hard to keep it away from him.
I kind of wonder what the Oja camp is talking about right now for KB. I think his patience overall, I think his understanding of what happens with the drive gauge against Guile is already known and noted. You had seen shades of that in round 1. I really want to know what Tachikawa has to say about this particular matchup for KB. Because I don't think KB played it incorrectly per se in the first round. He was a little bit antsy with the drive rushes, but outside of that, I mean, like, him sticking to his guns back in round 2, also utilizing the drive rush after throws, it all comes down to, like, conditioning and making the right reads, too. I think KB, with in conjunction with how he played in round 1, executed really well into round 2. The round 3 was just so difficult. Now that we know, though, that Higuchi is absolutely ready to gauge out the spacing with his Sonic Booms against the OD Psycho Crusher and still maintain, like, his focus on the perfect parry, that's already on the table, right? Only a few more cards left in hand in terms of ambiguity from the side of Higuchi. But with 3 games out of 5, I think KB might be able to force that hand from Higuchi. We'll find out, though. Yeah, see a different approach now.
Yeah, that would have blessed the crouch fierce. The back dash is there. He gets hard knockdown, the side switch off the corpse hop, using the knee hop. Scissor kick. He waited for the upside down kick. Got a punch right after in the bomb. So it can really work. The slide right before the bomb even goes off. Yeah.
Yeah. Even if it was blocked, right? The bomb would have gone off. He would have had plus frames. It was actually, I mean, a great scenario. Oh, see, now we're seeing a really different look with the approach in anticipating the long-range normals. That's going to be countered by scissor kick. If the Sonic Boom comes out, that's going to be met with a head stomp, perhaps. I'm liking this change-up now, but from further out, yeah, Higuchi's already starting to adapt to it. It's like, you know what? If I play further out, I'll be able to sense when these head stomps are coming, even if it's Devil's Reverse, and have an anti-air for you. The adaptations are coming right now.
Suplex. Waits a little bit, doesn't drive rush up. Again, he's holding his ground. He doesn't have to give up too much right now. Bar building up for him. He can go for OD if he wants it. Blocks out. He'll take the back throw. It's getting dicey. Again, that switch up, you mentioned, difficult to deal with. Drive rush throw right after the crouching medium kick. Caught up in the corner. OD flash kick comes out. 15 seconds on the clock. Stand heavy kick. You drive reversal. You do, but now you're in burnout. Try to fake out a flash kick. You don't think Higuchi's going to fall for that. Come on now. This cat's way too awake and aware.
I like the idea initially. Went for the Devil's Reverse to completely avoid the first Sonic Boom. You don't want to neutral jump it because Higuchi still had a little bit of drive gauge in him to intercept as an anti-air. Perfect parry again. We taught you this lesson in the first game.
Crouching mid kick. It's kind of like a poke tool. Also kind of gauging what KB's going to do right after. Same medium kick. Oh, he almost baited out that crouch fierce anti-air. Almost got the crouching medium punch. The timing just wasn't there. Now OD introduced when he gets close enough. Higuchi switching up the pacing of when he puts out the booms and where he puts them out too as well. Blade to lock him down. KB can't even, again, charge up the OD Psycho Crusher. It's not even an option right now because then Higuchi initiates with his own drive rush.
Oh, man. No fear in his heart while the bomb is on him. Counter hit. Higuchi tried to press the button upon wake up. He shook his head. Couldn't tell you what that was about.
Reset. A lot more here for KB. Will you regret it? Dragon Suplex again.
Oh, you could. Oh, the interruption. KB threads the needle with the light. Level 3. Ultimate Psycho Crusher incoming to at least tie it up. I was about to say, KB was just about a bar and a half, and you see like the sense of urgency from Higuchi. If Higuchi had landed the step kick, the roundhouse step kick into Solid Puncher, I think he would have been able to chip out KB. Not like right then and there, but eventually.
Good lead up. That option happens right now. Driver slide kick, crouching medium punch, try to catch the walk back. KB, I was gonna say, had good defense, no flash kick, but too close for comfort after that scissor kick. Level 1 dumped out. Frame killed the deep with the heavy kick and the setup right after to kill some of that drive gauge. Look at how this all led to this man, KB, having to get hit. Now in burnout, doesn't matter. Hero Ash, he's trying for the drive impact, a little bit too greedy and needy for that option.
Oh no!
Back throw.
That's gonna be a lot of damage incoming. You reset? Do you reset actually for the drive impact? Oh, you got a full combo. You're Guile. What am I talking about? Level 1 this guy.
Yeah. Higuchi's at the helm, it kills. No matter what, this guy is ever optimal. Level 1 being able to finish the job. That was a very clutch back throw. Those moments, again, he's able to ride it back and put the pressure on with the proper amount of bar utilized. He's on set point right now. This is a possible 40 bomb from Seoul, getting their revenge. Last time it was Oja that took it. It was 30-10. Look at that, walk back into nothing. Not going for like a throw or anything like that, or a bad button. Not giving no options here to KB.
Yeah, Higuchi still maintaining the pace too, checking the drive rushes, checking the spacing. Even if he's breaking his charges, KB is still too weary of Higuchi to even try to press a button. Nice work. Again, a different look with that stomp.
Higuchi falling for the bait. Up in the corner, he whipped the throw. Everything's coming up KB. He's making a panic like he's on the Titanic. The bomb is on. Your chances might be sinking of leaving this round. You're dead. Doubling down with the throws, and even more so enforcing that throw option to happen because the bomb is on. KB snags another chance at life.
Oh. The parry, sweet chin music. Let him drop to his knees a little bit, crouching heavy punch into the Psycho Mine. Counter hit from the side of Higuchi, actually. He pressed the button, but he still got thrown for it from KB. What a way to check that. Higuchi with too much discipline on defense. A little bit down on the drive gauge, but he's about to recover at least half. Nope, I lied to you.
Medium didn't reach. It's finally anti-air with the crouch fears. A lot of bar to utilize right now, to be honest. Can hit that level 2. And run a saucy boom sequence, depending on. Trying to go for the crouch fears, didn't time it right.
Uh-oh.
And back up in the corner with these throws. Oh, he tried to go for it, but too far for the medium to hit. That's the second time we've seen crouching light and the medium not work out.
Oh my god. Level 1. Disgusting. He is so consistent with those confirms, man.
Took level 2, but that level 1 to get it done. This guy, Higuchi, saves that bar at the bottom for this round. For a knuckle, for it straight. With the blade, look at the variance. He's like, okay, I need to back up to get my bar back. Let me set up the blade to cover my 6. A lot more sonic booms right after this. Stand fierce for the plus frame, but too far out to an act with a button. Higuchi contesting. +1 scenario. Rubber stand fierce with hella plus frames.
Oh. The intense is still pretty scary too. The way that Higuchi's been controlling the field is just so problematic for KB. He's giving him different looks thus far. Still not being able to manage his drive gauge against the sonic booms. That's been like the primary focus, I feel like. Now, KB even closer out, does manage to get the perfect parry, does gauge the distance with a medium kick. That had to be an input for the head stomp. Oh! Counter hit!
Kids! Bomb to go off stomp. Level 3.
Uh-oh.
Holy KB!
That was pretty slick. Pretty healthy in the drive gauge. One more touch. And the stutter step. A little bit of the hezzy with the jabs. Checking Higuchi on his button presses. A little eager to try to thread the needle. I like that. Really checking the button timings from Higuchi.
So the things that we've seen from Higuchi, trying to interrupt sometimes where he could or shouldn't, I guess. We saw it's like the stand fierce and he pressed the button, he's able to counteract where the button came from Bison. That's why we saw KB go for driver stand fierce right after. He's like, okay, I need hella plus frames. I don't want to enact a +1 scenario. And so then I feel like he was like, okay, cool. Higuchi likes to strike back or take his turn back sometimes. Let me counteract that, keep things a little bit more on the tighter side and go for these counter hit conversions. So when I see the counter hit, I'll something for him. Because I think at the first game, he had a counter hit that he didn't commit with, and it could have been at least a round, and he wasn't able to take that. Now he's a little more solidified in that game plan, and believing he's going to get that counter hit a little bit more often, lands in a much more success. Also, the bomb has been a lot more applied. We've seen that kind of enforce that strike throw or more throw than anything from KB more consistently to lead up to a lot more damage. That's where Higuchi's starting to panic a little bit. He's like, okay, cool. I need to get something off. Maybe I'll go for like a flash kick, whatever reversal button, and then KB plays around that. So on offense, Higuchi's great. His defense, though, is starting to get open up, exposed a little bit as this set goes on. I think that's KB's route to victory.
We're in for a very long-winded set, I feel like, with the way that KB is started, the way that he's kind of like adapting to the inner workings of Higuchi, the way that he's checked the button timings. Very impressive read, by the way. Checking the movement from Higuchi, whether or not the sonic booms are coming, are slowly starting to like improve. I think having one of the things that you're looking for, right? It's a battle of who's maintaining their charge. I think that's a really significant deal. Whenever you see Guile walking forward, that allows you to think, all right, I don't have to worry about two things: the sonic booms. I don't have to worry about the flash kicks. I could possibly anticipate a counter poke type of style, which KB just did right now. But at the same time, it's like, if you're too obvious with your charges too, when you're holding down, you know, like, the head stomp's going to be coming. So we'll see. We'll see how that back and forth kind of goes in terms of the movement.
The movement, in terms of like anti-fireball play, has not been OD Psycho Crusher. It's been these things. Devil's Reverse, the OD stomps whenever need be. The switch up from the aerial approach is definitely hurting him until the level 1 hits. Hurricane from the skies. Oh, try to go for the shimmy, but a little bit too fast on the draws. KB ends up with the Psycho Crusher, but wake up back though, puts him up in the corner. In the overhead, you are dead. Higuchi staying golden right now.
Oh, could have been an opportunity. Yeah, it's pretty tough to anticipate that overhead coming after that drive rush as well. Yeah, the big confirm off of the medium. KB being able to dish out the damage with a Psycho Punisher. Ugh. Pretty sizable lead.
The lead. The trade. As one should do, that is minus. It's your turn, I should say. Based on the flash kick, and that's going to be it. The heavy kick starter ends up with the OD. Still had more if need be. And KB, again, the BB standing for Bison, has been doing a lot of work up this corner and breaking down the defense of Higuchi. It is, oh, he caught the drive rush with a jump medium kick. This guy's good.
Yeah. Could be a little bit tricky to kind of like manage your way through like the standing medium punch potential mixes, right? Standing medium punch being 0 on block. Sure, you're going to think to yourself, if I throw out a 4-frame normal, we will be trading no matter what. But you could also throw out the target combo, right? To frame trap as Bison. You could go for the down heavy kick afterwards to get that. So not necessarily your turn after the standing medium punch.
I feel you, I feel you. Force the trade, which is good for Bison sometimes, so. Oh, perfect parry was there. I wonder if heavy kick would have worked out better there. Even the medium. And burnout. How do you survive? How do you survive? It's a one-touch scenario. Any fast fireball, any chip, that's going to be at the flash kick. Had the charge right after the jump in. That's going to be the win here. Higuchi taking away the drive gauge and taking away the health. Very well done. Surviving the absolute onslaught that KB was putting on to short those defenses and defensive moments, I should say, but better.
This hurts a lot of players in the cut. This definitely hurts two teams at the same time, right? You're furthering your lead away from 4th place, and you also leapfrog over Shinobism Gaming by 5 points. This is a pretty flawless set for Saishunkan Soul Kumamoto. Near flawless, it could have been a full blowout. Higuchi could have gotten 3-0, but it was indeed 3-1. KB was slowly starting to manage his way through, but it's so hard to be consistent in having and maintaining your drive gauge against someone who's just so hard to read and so hard to even like close the gap on, both as a character and a player.
And also, it's hard to even enact like the aerial approach. We saw the switch up, as you mentioned, the backdash and the stand medium kick, proper punishes, the proper anti-airs, and you see it right there. If you're in burnout, he will take advantage of that easily. 40 points for Saishunkan Soul Kumamoto. That puts them at 195. Dang! Whoa! that leapfrogs above good 8 spot right now. Like, that is for now. Absolutely amazing victory. Considering last time they lost 30-10 against Oja. Is it
Did I mishear you? How many
195?
Yeah, it should be 195, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
Shinobism Gaming has 190 and Saishunkan Soul Kumamoto has 195, yeah. But I will say this too, that puts a lot more pressure on good 8 squad. Like, as it stands going into this week, they have 180 points. So it is going to be an interesting bout because they have to face off against DetonatioN FocusMe, who needs as many wins as possible. If this is a big if DetonatioN FocusMe scores a 40 bomb, that is huge. That is absolutely huge. I don't know if we'll see it. Odds are we won't. But it would be cool. It'd be cool to see.
It'd be great. It's hard to call, man. I feel. I feel like we won't. I think you're right, but I think they'll at least get points if Itabashi shows up. I think that this will happen in their hands, but they want 40 bombs as much as possible, as we mentioned so many times. They have as many points as possible to even get a sniffing shot at the playoff line. We're getting the interview, though, for Saishunkan Soul Kumamoto. The sun shines on them again to get the win. And Daigo, even though on the bench, says, we were troubled when we saw the roster, but great result. Which is crazy to say, considering how well they played in every match. You were troubled when you saw the roster, but you're like, you cooked up. What do you mean? Fudo, the moves of Modern Ed doesn't have critical to the win. I'm assuming that means does not have like critical art to win at the very end for like the last round. I'm assuming that's what they mean by that. Really great from win from Higuchi, giving props over the golden child himself.
I kind of wonder myself, getting the rest of the interviews in from the players as well. Higuchi just increasing his lead in regards to top point earner, possible MVP. He's too powerful right now, man. It's so difficult to even try to stop this guy.
Man. Any doubts you have about Guile out there are all squashed by... There's obviously a few players like Du who just qualified, but also Higuchi, you can put him up there too as well in terms of the blueprint of how to play that character and how to run away with the drive gauge, and then also how to be really effective in a lot of matchups. Like, I like how he adjusted against the Bison matchup. It's one that's, I think, still developing. You know, it used to be, oh, well, he could just OD cycle crush it with fireballs. It's really easy for him, and then you start seeing the players adapt and prepare against certain elements, and it's way different now. More about the head stomps as we saw, and Higuchi's able to acclimate around that. So Nemo says, I was able to play an ideal game, really great win. And Higuchi said, Nemo told me a lot about Bison. Really thanks to him. As we mentioned, you have somebody on that team that plays a character. We can at least get the baseline on how to play against that character, and then you can build upon that against the player.
Yeah, we talked about like having Jesus. As we were talking about like having this legacy experience to both like talk the talk and walk the walk as the captain. Nemo is just such a pivotal point, such a pivotal member of this team to bring about some of the meta-defining characters, because if you look at his stream, anytime he senses that this character is going to be like worth playing, like he has such a good knack for what is going to be powerful in the meta, he's always going to be the first one to abuse the most powerful things. Same with cats like Sakonoko. Took to find them, right? I don't know if Sakonoko is really like up there in regards to abusing it, but Momochi's Ed is up there for sure. Fujimura is also in that kind of class. But Nemo is 100% that guy to really break down the cheapest things possible. Just because of his nature, right? Because of like his versus background, in my opinion.
I like that though. I like that you can go to a certain player and see what's strong, or like what's like the meta, right? Like if I see Nemo on a character, I know that character is gonna be godlike. So we see that. We've seen it happen with him, and we see that Bison is his choice, and that's why Bison's so good. Nemo also says that the next episode is pretty much the decider match of whether or not we get to go to the playoffs, hope to win against Shinobism Gaming. Next episode and go there. So we'll see what happens. That being a decider match is going to be super sick. Oh, definitely don't miss that one. That's going to be hella dope. So that sets up for success or failure, depending on what happens. But even more so, success as they're able to at least reach to that line. If they win against Shinobism Gaming, I'm not sure how much they need, but they do need to get that W. If they win against Shinobism Gaming in some fashion, they'll be set off for the playoffs. So that'd be good to see in the next episode.
Well, you're talking about who now? Facing off against Shinobism? I'll talk about it later, actually. I don't want to I don't want to miss out. Soul? Okay, gotcha. In the meantime, we are coming close to the conclusion, I feel like, of regulation season. Now is a great time to pick up some of the really neat things that they've put out there for the fans out in Japan, right? They have the Division S and Division F t-shirts. Not even just the t-shirts, right? Actually, that's like the whole league, if I'm not mistaken. There's 12 teams on that t-shirt. That is correct. They have like the photos too, like the acrylic photos that they have for the entire league. Also Division S and Division F individually. Pretty darn cool, in my opinion. A lot of things going into like into the league and also for the fans as well.
It's like a banter. I really like that style. It's almost like the cross-off style when people qualify for the offline CPT stuff. It's reminiscent of that without the cross-offs. But it's super cool. Again, like to see that get shipped over here to the States, as they have so many cool things over in Japan. And even more. The only thing I'm seeing is, you have to get the players on your shirt. Oh my God. If there isn't, I feel like there's always a way to rep the players out here, Street Fighter League, whether in the game or outside the game. It's cool to have them on their shirts. Can you imagine being on somebody's shirt, walking around, hey, that's Fujimura. It's like, yeah, that's that guy right there. That's super sick. I love the support we see out here for Street Fighter League. And you guys and gals can support Street Fighter League by buying your tickets ASAP. S ranks are sold out for the grand finals. The other ones are available, but I know they're going to get going real soon here. So make sure you buy your tickets for the playoffs, for the grand finals, so you have those viewing seats virtually. If you can be there in person, you should definitely be there in person, because it's very cool to see that stuff in person. Being able to be around the energy of the offline is just something different. The 21st, 22nd in December will be the playoffs. Grand finals will be the 11th of February. So tune in and clock in and lock in all that great action as we send off a final team to fight the US and EU, as we're getting the EU teams all situated this month, and the US teams are already going to form right now in terms of them playing in the league. Make sure you guys watch that. I think it's on Wednesdays. Will be happening obviously for US, and we'll determine what happens with EU real soon. Either way, it's a lot of great Street Fighter action, whether it be League or CPT, wherever it may be. There's a lot of things to catch out here in the land of Japan and the land of Street Fighter overall.
Right, with everything going on in the CPT, you got to make sure to keep your calendars locked and loaded, because November is going to be such a busy month as it leads into these very big occasions, also particularly in the realm of Street Fighter League Pro-Japan. In the meantime, we're getting our marquee matchup locked and loaded. DetonatioN FocusMe versus a good 8 squad. You don't want to miss it. Coming up right after this.
再開は10分後の21時8分頃予定しております。それでは一旦失礼いたします。
Yeah, come on, everybody come alive real quick. Battle of the strong, survival of the fit. Take your best shot, hope you don't miss. I ain't never scared, never quitting is the motto. Yeah, come on, everybody come alive real quick. Battle of the strong, survival of the fit. Take your best shot, hope you don't miss. Among us. Take it much farther. Fast with the hands, eat Honda. Defend my legacy with strength and honors. I'm the greatest ever. It's a showdown. This is my arena.
せっかくのこのリベンジの機会、勝って延長戦につなげたいなと思います。頑張ります。
ファイト。おお、来た。ナイス。運んで。
読み勝っている。そして一気に運搬
はい。
して。
はいよ。
もう一丁。次は
はい。
ゲージが溜まる。いや、
安すぎる。
ああ、これいいんじゃないか。
一応行かなかっただけ。一応行かなかっただけのこと。
いや、めっちゃ良かった。
これで延長戦。
どうする？
これはでももう
トータルマッチャーが良さそうだと思う。
俺も全然マッチャー坊さんがいいかなとは。
延
長戦最適まみれバーチャ棒動きクラシック。
有言実行からの延長戦。あとはここを勝つだけなんで最後の一先集中して25点持ち帰りたいなと思います。頑張ります。
橋を作った。
おお、いいプレ
ッシャーだ。
うますぎる。
ナイス。
うますぎるか？
上がっちゅう。
5-1ラウンドだったな。
また当たる。
技触れない。
また当たる。はい、
ボンボンボン。
はい。
ぐるぐる。
使うしょ。
すぐさま一気に体力はもう追いついている。出て。
ありがとうございます。
あら。
ありがとうございます。バチャボチームありがとうございます。
やべえ、適してる。
超うまいな。任せろ。
マイをつけた。
いや、でかいよ。
ガチででかい。
でかいできて。
おお、うまい。
すごい減る。すごい減る。
いけなかったんで。
動きはこの画面端をする上。形になるか。
いい、うまい。マジうまい。
ずらすだが、
今最
後うまい。
確かに
間に合わなかったですね。
ナイス。はいドンはい。
これはんじゃない？いったろこれ。いや、これは残るか、さすがに。怪しい。
この青写真プゲラは描いていたラインが上がって
相当時間稼いだぞ。
うまっ。
マジか今の。
からのドライブがギリギリ戻ってこない。
2狙ってっすか？狙って2。
あれは臭すぎたからラッシュした。
うまー。
すごい。何にラッシュして今あれ？
空陣っす空陣っす。
わすごい。キモいなあれ。
対空の反応遅れたけど空陣かもって思って。
いやすげえ。
今のリーグ1のプレーでいいと思います。
いや
許す。
ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。ポイント取ってきました。ありがとうございます。
One
of the most important battles for one of the teams here, actually both of them going into it. It's Detonation FocusMe versus Good 8 Squad with only 3 weeks remaining. Every point counts, as we alluded to at the very top of the show. Starting things off with Detonation FocusMe, Mr. Optimal coming in. It's Machimo, as always. Right after that, the babyface Joker, aka the Trickster, Takeuchi Jon, with the ever-impressive Rashid. Then, of course, Shippuden right. Nauman also going to be stepping up to the plate. Really curious to see how he's going to be performing this week as well. And the man who has made it into Capcom Cup via East Coast Throwdown, it is the meal ticket, Itabashi Zangief, as the captain for Detonation FocusMe. We haven't seen him play these last couple of weeks, and for good reason. I'd imagine, he's taking a little bit of a break for himself and taking the managerial position, or the coach, I should say, for his teammates.
Except for him to step up and show out, because they're going up against the top team, at least leading in to this stream. It's Good 8 Squad at 180 points totality. This team has been one to recognize throughout the entirety of League's history, continuing that same sort of momentum out here with a few bumps here and there, but it makes sense considering the pedigree that's out here. But look at this team. You have so many champions out here of various elements. Let's break it all down. Good 8 Squad. Let's start off. Good 8 Squad with the monk coming down from the mountains to the hands of the man. Blessings from above. It's Waichimochi on that Dulcim. He's in a lot of pain with that character, willing to slug it out. That's going to be the Cosmic Buster. Is Fugera, a fan of Souls games, and also a fan of playing Bison, and putting her on with Psycho Power. That's going to be the singularity, and what that means, we just want that singular component to put himself in this top spot. It's Kawano cooking with the Akuma. And leading all the charge, I don't know why they call him the honest hero. There's nothing honest about that. Level 2, what he does with it, it is Gachikun with the Rashid. This team is absolutely stacked from front to back. We talk about the players, we talk about the characters, we talk about the strategy. They have been nothing short of amazing. And I guess they're showing up the mercenaries and buy this today. The mug, if I can get that set, Fugera, you can just hit me up at my address. I'll be down. I'll be down. Sip from that cup, brother.
It would be kind of sick. I need to get me one of those as well. All right. So, we had alluded to this. Detonation FocusMe currently at the bottom of the barrel with 90 points to their name. There's only 3 weeks left to play. They have to play absolutely flawless But it's so difficult to do something like that. Not only because Good 8 Squad is currently in first place, they have such a well-rounded team, but them being in the home position opens them up to so much counterplay. Nauman, John Takeuchi, Itabashi Zangief, Ken Rashid Zangief. As much as I love seeing Itabashi in the ring, there is a big threat. You know what that threat is?
Oh yeah, the long limbs of Sim, Waichimochi. A classically, historically terrible matchup for Geef and Sim. You know, I've talked to some of the Geef players. They're like, you know, it's not as bad as it used to be in the back, like in the old days, but it's still pretty bad, as you mentioned. So Waichimochi, I would imagine, would like to go last, no matter how good the gambler is. And at first of three, someone that's second like Waichimochi is going to be difficult. And from there, you just kind of maneuver the characters that you want to have. We want them to play Kawano against Nauman, you know, the Ken versus Akuma. And then maybe a mirror match will enforce it. We'll see. Maybe Pugera also be good against John Takeuchi. Okay. Right.
This makes sense. I think Kawano has just a firm understanding of like how the Shotos, any of the Shoto matchups go. I think Hamiko had stressed this in particular. Kawano has been doing such a great job both in the mirror match and against some of the Ken players. It just makes a lot of sense for him to be up. I'd imagine also you'd much rather send out someone like Pugera to face off against John Takeuchi's Rashid. And I think the man who brings the elephant into the room, YHC Mochi, for Itabashi Zangief. It just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think that's the order. I think Gachikun going up against Itabashi would be kind of wrong. You know, listening to Big Bird, he don't really like that matchup. Dual Kevin don't really like the matchup either. You know, not being able to enact those normals like you'd like to, and having spin drive rush to get checked with the stand medium and wasting drive gauge and eating away at health doesn't really feel that good. We can just run those long limbs of Sim and the fireballs right after and stay away. I feel like it'd be a good idea to put the Sim thing. And we'll see what happens though, but I feel like that's going to be what happens. Is Kawano goes up first. As you mentioned, yeah, he's really good against the Shoto like matchups. It would be the mirror match, the Ken match. We mentioned it so many times before. Akuma does really well against this character. The fireball pressure is really good. Try to throw a stand heavy kick or stand fierce. The blast buttons of the walk speed too as well of the stand fierce or four fierce of Akuma will catch those. So like your initiation buttons are going to get got continuously. But Nauman says, we see Good 8 Squad puzzled by our roster. It's got to be Itabashi going up last. Probably the biggest puzzle right there.
100%.
Like, why would you do that? Like, why would you do that? So
no, even the commentary team, both Frida and Hamiko were like, what in the heck? This is happening for real?
The gambler can actually do some work a little bit later on. But I guess they have a plan. If they're going to set up Itabashi when it's do or die time, especially if you need 40 points of totality, you're going to need as many chances to get that W. And setting up on paper bad matchup, a horrible matchup, I guess, for some people, doesn't seem like it's that smart. But again, they have a game plan for this. They've set up the characters for a certain sort of style, so maybe. Kawano says, though, the roster for our team is really difficult for today as well, but I was called, I'll just do my best. Really, though? Really? Was it really difficult? Y'all have a Sim to catch the likes of Itabashi. You have an Akuma to fight the likes of Nauman. And I guess against Rashid, the problematic character that is Bison in that matchup, that can be problematic at least. I feel like y'all have a good list of characters to utilize. But either way, Kawano comes up to play first, as mentioned. Go.
There have been moments where he's been a little head empty. I'm not going to lie. Maybe he was thinking about the Yakiniku too much that it carried over into this week. But either way, Kawano, Nauman, game one.
Man, the drive rush fireball. You different, Kawano. Fake outs adding up. Hard to traverse the plasma right now on the screen. Light kick gets the drive rush buffer right after it.
What a counter pick against the drive rush too. Yeah, this is looking way too clean right now. Level 1 to assure it. You already know, perfect KO. Kawano is just too much to deal with. My man's got less MR than Nauman? Oh, snap.
Nauman says, you don't know about the CF in streets? I've seen everything. Oh, but Kumano sees that, gets the roll drive impact with the back throw. His fireballs are setting up for like other buttons, other things, but this time unaware for the drive rush, the dive kick, hard knockdown, stays in front.
Actually, kind of wild to see, man. Kawano's been on quite the hot streak. That could have been a moment for either a perfect parry or a drive impact. Either way you slice it, though, Nauman, he could have taken either option because of the life lead. I'd imagine if the drive impact had connected, he would have been able to kill Kawano. Yeah, you had to do it. I think that's fine for Nauman, forcing the burnout, but he's taking way too much extra damage. Akuma could still kill off of a solid confirm into level 1.
Oh, what happened to those drive impact hits? Or level 2?
That might have been super input from Kawano, because that wasn't even punish counter. It did say counter hit for sure. Oh boy. Kawano throwing it away little by little. Ride. Damn, that's damage.
Surprisingly.
50%.
And the drive gauge too. Boy, can't leave for free to cross up TP. Fireball to switch up. He's trying to set up where you have like a nice little space trap to get a crouching medium punch off like a counter poke. Nauman running out of bar. Needs some of these fireballs. Walks back for the anti-air. Double dashes up for the throw. Another one. Blue button now. Delays it. No opening though from Nauman.
Had to do it. I understand. Didn't want to get thrown up over and over again. But now you're at the deficit. You got to be pretty on point with these perfect parries. Both players at one touch. Damn! I don't know what in the heck that was, but that was a pretty big call out against the light kick canceled into the drive rush. Really smart from Nauman. The only way to keep that tight, I don't even know if it is possible to keep that tight. I'm going to take a look at the frame data on that. I haven't really like paid attention to what it's like doing light cancel into drive rush consistently enough to have it like retain in my memory, but I'm going to double check anyway.
Okay. Because you can see it on hit anyway.
So,
talk to us.
Yeah, so understandably so. There is no way to make it a true block string because drive cancel on block is -2 either way, so it will be a moment for, it will be Nauman's turn regardless. So you did, it makes a lot of sense why you even saw counter hit in the first place. Him throwing out the light jab, the light punch I should say, made a lot more sense.
Okay. So it has to be an on-hit sort of situation, which we usually see from the stand light kicks. More of it's a counter poke where you just kind of drive rush after like a crouching medium punch, whatever it may be. That time on block, and Nauman, as you mentioned, very smart, very aware. Actually getting a fat lead and keeping it. And it feels like more continuously from him. And some of this is kind of Kawano giving it away with these drive impacts, which I'm surprised to see. I don't know if he's going for like an anti-fireball play, trying to call it like a crouching medium kick. I don't know what he's calling out, but it's no answer on the other side of things. Stand light kick, you drive rush right after him to confirm here. Nauman's got his off. Trade, run for the medium, let's get the crouching medium kick though. Have to get Tatsu for the maximum amount of corner carry.
Checking with the light kick as well. Kawano not able to maintain that pressure in the pocket against Nauman. Oh no! Nauman just letting it right back, pretty much slip away from his fingers. The back throws are going crazy right now. Side switch, corpse hop.
Fireball interruption.
Checking the load.
Medium kickoff should be able to kill. Level 1. Yeah.
You already know it.
It sucks.
Similar start for Kawano. Not as dominant though.
Ooh, you sneaky son of a gun. He gets a crouching mid kickoff though.
He's been getting check walking back multiple times. That's over. Punish counter. You already know it. Side switch off of the lash. Dash 2 times over. Sit him down. I'm so glad OD uppercut from Akuma doesn't side switch anymore. Or at least from the V-Trigger version of it in Street Fighter 5. Just like uppercut from V-Trigger was so unnecessary.
I'll give them ideas for buffs.
No.
Or actually, do. Hold on now. I like Akuma. Perfect parry. Knew he was going to go for a button right after. It was a counter hit, so get back with the medium. Call here for Kawano. ODDP gets another drive rush this time to kill.
Real smooth, too. That's been a very common occurrence nowadays. Like, for stopping drive rushes, people are opting to do either super art or invincible moves. Like OD invincible moves.
Drive impacts have to be to call it a fireball right there. Too far for the throw. Step back with the micro addition DP. No, double heavy kick is another heavy kick Tatsu off. Maximize the damage. Pretty fireball. The walk-up crouching unit kick has to do so to get some advantage, and I like this. Tatsu, nice and close for the throw right after. Driver Sam Fierce, a fake out. Drive impact, the trade. Still caught up in the corner. The flip out, so gets hit with the leg kick, and the counter hit the fall. Nauman so ready, prepared for any moment. One more touch. There we go, the throw.
What a scramble. Nauman coming away with it too. Kawano tried to be slick with that jump reset against the Jinrai pressure. That was actually pretty smart, but Nauman 2 steps ahead with the follow-up. I can't believe that actually worked. Counter hit, forward throw from Kawano, back-to-back, able to do so again. The third one does get checked, but Nauman couldn't get a punish off of the backdash. Oh boy, level 1, give me that side switch. Send out the fireball, no, it's drive rush raw, and he gets punished for it either way. He drive rushed and tried to walk out of harm's way, but the little toe tap, low medium kick. Kawano has caught Nauman so many times. Insane thus far. Looking at match point though, luckily for Nauman, he still retains 2 bars. Could be a little bit dastardly, Kawano. I like that. No more knocking on the door. He had a loaded uppercut.
Suppressor. Like heavy kick, the dash up is checked. The challenge with the perfect parry. A blue kind of day. The corner we go with the enhanced Tatsu. Now that Oki too as well with the throw. Drive rush medium for the hella plus frames. The throw right after. Again, goes for the same option. What's this time? Oh, the shimmy. He's not biting. We're trying to press the button for the stand fierce. Heavy kick Tatsu. But Kawano doesn't have that much bar to play with. He's gonna have to play it perfectly in terms of being able to perfect parry. But can't do so. He's in burnout now.
Ooh, that was Nauman.
He had the counter hit.
That was Nauman's game. What are you doing?
What is going on, Vicious?
Oh,
what is going on?
Threw it away, brother. You threw it away. Nauman, you're breaking my heart, fam. You had counter hit, crouch jab. You had enough frames and enough space to do standing light kick. Drive cancel that into a full sequence. Oh. You tried to make a big read too with a parry in front of him. Oh, brother. That's rough to watch. Not gonna lie to you guys. I felt bad.
It's so unfortunate. It's like your game to win. It's gotta hurt so terribly, not only for you, but for your team. Again, we needed 40 points. You ain't getting that today. But man, oh man, it's just some of these like wily situations were so good for Nauman. Like he played great. Like look at that counter situation he's prepped and prepared for. And it's just this moment right here. Trying for the drive impact, too risky. It was more before that, but that last bit risky for the drive impact. And you saw the walk back was already prepared. Kawano takes away that game. 10 points on their side, and now Higuchi is next. I think you sent up Pugera. I think you put up the Bison. You have the white Shimochi in the end. The mirror match, I guess you could do. But with someone as wily as Higuchi, do you want to risk it? I say just go for a straight-up matchup that you understand on paper. I think Bison does well. We've seen Bison do well. And you've been taught by one of the best that knows the matchup like Gachikun, Pugera. Of course.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. I think a lot of the other commentators out there that were reviewing the footage have come to that exact same agreement. Pugera has to be the one to step up. And I like his overall record in general, like even outside of the league against Rashid. I think Pugera's done a great job of developing his strategies against Rashid. I think Bison can do a fantastic job. One of the big things that we've talked about is his strength against some of the projectiles in general. One of the more specific nuances is how Bison can navigate his way around the Isar SA2 when the moment's right. Not a lot of characters can do that. Not a lot of characters can kind of like breeze through it. Rashid has to stand by the Isar to make it effective. Stand either right by it or in front of it, I would say.
I think also, in terms of like the neutral, like for Rashid, his normals are okay, but with drive rush, they become fantastic. We've seen this, we saw it, and Bice is really good about checking for medium punch, drive rush, crouching, medium kick, whatever it may be, right? Like the initiation tools too as well. If you want to use crouching medium kick raw, Bice has got a button for most of that, and gets a lot of off that. He gets a bomb right off that. He gets the second crusher if he wants it. He can't just throw out a fireball because he'll use OD through that, as you mentioned. Aerial approach too as well can be kind of a bit out struggling for heavy mixer. He can kind of guide himself over that too as well. If he stomps early or hits the OD, the heavy mixer won't save you all the time. So the risk and reward definitely in favor of Bison. We've seen the matchup develop back and forth. We saw Gachikun be able to really assess the dead zone for where Crouch Fierce is going to be. So I think Pugera is going to be even more ready and prepared for that to happen. If John Takuchi tries to take the sky suit continuously, you'll see Pugera walk back and look for the proper anti, or just block it out, to be honest, or just not get crossed up. John Takuchi with this interview says, we're getting better, but it's against Pugera. So they recognize the strength of Pugera, his Bison, the practice that he has had at EWC, how he's had on his own stream, how he is a very good technician when it comes to like breaking down each and every character and applying his own sort of pressure to win. We have to fight. It's difficult, but we still have to fight.
Looking forward to seeing what Pugera has to say about it as well. I wonder if he's going to speak in haiku again.
Okay.
What is happening, brother? Are you okay over there? I'm gonna wait for the full translation and any of like the extras that come along with it. I don't know what the hell's going on, but you know, I'm a fan of it. I really enjoy watching Pugera as a player and as a person, man. I'm definitely on his streams. He also speaks a good amount of English. He understands a good amount and also is able to kind of rebuttal and also respond accordingly. He's been around the block for so long, right? We've talked about his history throughout Street Fighter 4. He's traveled to the States a bunch of times over. He's been to California so much as well for a lot of the premieres that had happened back in the day. So he's definitely been around. But talking about the matchup again, I think you're right. You know, Bison does have a pretty decent time navigating around the toolkit that Rashid has. I think he's a very strong counter poker with normals. I think the head stomp could really go above and beyond what Rashid wants to do with his projectiles. And even further out, right? Like one of the big things that we kind of see a lot of Rashid players do is like try to intimidate the person so that they can let out the prolonged projectile, the prolonged whirlwind, so that they have the enhanced whirlwind in front of them to close the gap with the super jump, right?
Also on top of all that, I forgot scissor kick is so hard to punish with Rashid. Stand jab is so short that I don't want to see him run that for free, but damn near for free compared to like fighting Shotos. No buffer after that medium, no drive rush right after. The plus frames are fine. He reversals with a jab, but Pugera's right back in. Puts on the bomb, one more situation, back heavy kick, the grip right after we tech though. Bomb still on, he interrupts the overhead, and you're dead. The hell attack put him down 6 feet under.
If this manages to go in favor of Pugera, I think it might be the end of Detonation FocusMe. So this is a pretty heavy implications, or close to it. I can't say it guarantees it because I haven't done the math, but we'll find out. Pugera doing a great job thus far, avoiding the corner. What a delay! You're actually dead. You're dead.
Overhead, back fist, Twitter, clip once again. Pheno's favorite combo. The Bison's best friend. More than dead. Damn.
Even the way Rashid sounds in his death animation, it just sounds like he got bodied by a bad guy. You know, that's how you know it hurts.
Hurts not being able to punish scissor kick. You saw it continuously. You might even start seeing driver scissor kick again. He'll just driver throw, but he might start putting that on the table as well. But these plus frames are fantastic. The fact that you just can't do much against one of the Bison's strongest tools, it's got to be problematic.
I can kind of understand it, like being pretty well spaced out. But I mean, Rashid does have other tools, right? He still has crouching light punch as well. Standing light punch is also a pretty significant tool, being 4 frames. Standing light punch is relatively stubby for sure. I think crouching jab might be a little bit better if it's actually -5 at certain distances. Or if it ends up being -5, I should say.
Switch up. Ah, that could be the switch up then. I'm going for the tap parry. Dash up throw again. Coverage heavy kick. Oh, it's another throw. The Loopian. Bulgaria will take you there. I'm so afraid of everything. Overhead, medium, back heavy kick. Oh, caught him pressing buttons when he shouldn't. I understand what he was doing when he was doing the screen wipe. He's like, you can't see me. That's what he was doing.
It's kind of wild. I mean, he talked about it in his interview. He's finally figured out how to play against Rashid. I mean, when you have somebody like Gachikun under your team as the captain, it would make a lot of sense. Oh, that could have been a level 2. Sorry, level 1 as an anti-air. You set up for level 2, you stir. You don't get to see these too often, I feel like, from John Takuchi in this game thus far. Close to death. This might be lights out. Overhead still. Pugura is so good with sneaking those in there. Another 10 points for good 8 squad. This feels kind of rough, man. This feels pretty rough. Not only does it bring Detonation FocusMe further away from making it into playoffs, but it means Good 8 Squad has officially broken the 200-point barrier with the second W.
I'm going for anybody right now. And they're on the verge of possibly getting 40 in totality, depending on how things go down this last round, last match, I should say. That sim against Zangief causing some grief. It could happen. But up in this match, as you mentioned, he's so good about seeking the overheads. Spacing has been damn near perfect, so besides like one or two times that happened. But overall, just pure dominance. Again, when you have someone like Gachikun who's really figured out the matchup and really studied both sides very well, he has given that knowledge over to his players and his other people on the team. Now, comes out of the anchor match, comes out of Itazan, who has done well in terms of like the singular tournaments, as you mentioned, secured his spot at ECT over the Capcom Cup, but can he secure some points? I thought coming into this, I was like, yeah, Ida-san, he got this, but I forgot about the secret weapon that's White Shimochi. When it comes to like the home position, we can maneuver him in matchups where it's uncomfortable for those other characters. He is a very pivotal force. It's gotta be White Shimochi, right? Like, there's no way.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that I think about it too, no matter how you slice it, I think if Shinobism Gaming doesn't score any points, there's a possibility. If FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN doesn't score any points, also a possibility. It really, if Itabashi loses here, Detonation FocusMe is done for the rest of the season. There's a small chance for them to still make it. Very, very small chance. This is me just doing like the random math in my head now, but he needs to get at least 25 points. He needs to get to 20 here, and they need to win the tiebreaker. They need to win the tiebreaker.
That is horrible ass. Although, no White Shimochi, Gachikun up.
Yeah. That's a big surprise to me, man. I don't know how I feel about that. Please don't ask me, because I have no idea.
I'll be honest, I don't like that at all. I don't care how much Ida-san has cooked up in that matchup, or in the match or whatever. On paper, I feel like you have someone like White Shimochi, who's a very, very strong player who's willing to brawl it out on the ground and in the air when need be. But it's really effective with his fireball game. I feel like he's really found his momentum up in this game too as well. His defensive decisions when he wakes up with the dive kick have been fantastic. On paper, even above all that too as well, it's so good. So why not go for something that I feel like the player has played well in whenever I watch him on CFN or he shows up on the CFN matches on YouTube, that I see do well on paper, and they're on the back foot. The gambler could definitely seek in some resets and things like that, but when you're keeping the long limbs of the sim and keeping them out, that doesn't happen as often. I have to wonder, is this the right move when I feel like a lot of Geek players, even Ida-san himself, has said, hey, I like this matchup. I love when Rashid players try to drive rush up and I go for a reversal SPD, or I clock them with a stand medium or a crouch jab, they waste their drive gauge, and I take more by walking up and going for a medium when they block it out, and then they're on the back foot, you know. And again, if they try to go for level 2, I can do a reversal SPD. I get level 2 if I can throw the needle perfectly. They can't do fireballs when I have level 2, and if I'm having the lead, I'll probably expend that too as well. It's a very strange swing, and also jump medium kick. It's like a dive kick. You gotta be careful about saying out fireballs because that could just reach downward. So I don't know, man.
It is tough. It is definitely tough. There have been moments where Gachikun had cleverly masked his intentions with fireballs because, you know, you have the 3 different angles. You can charge it up. It makes it that much harder for Itazan to commit to the jump medium kick because you still have the possibility of the whirlwind being let out early and also right in front of Rashid, which allows you to get a juggle because of that exchange, right?
I feel like he is probably the best at utilizing fireball, even if it's not good for like the matchup overall. He's the best at like hiding his intentions, poking with the fireballs too as well, establishing for other things, so that he's not just drive rushing up before a medium punch or whatever it may be. He's not so obvious. But Itabashi says, I was hoping I could put pressure on Waichimochi. If Gachikun came, they're good. They know me. So he was hoping to fight Sim, but Gachikun came up. He's like, this is not what I really wanted, I guess. Gachikun said, I thought it was fun that I would come up here. I'll let him try for me. So it's strange because he said he's practicing for the Sim match or preparing for it. I still don't feel like that would have worked out that well, though. I still feel like you could practice for that matchup, but I don't know if you could have been ready for someone like Waichimochi, bro. You're both older players. You play each other, I'm sure, but more solid pick. We'll see. Gachikun, prove me a liar, bro.
さあ、デトネーションフォーカスミーリーダー板橋ザンギエフチームを救うと
Good 8 squad in such amazing shape point-wise for the season. Looking to maintain that positioning to get themselves into a better seeding for the playoffs. Gachikun starting things off pretty well thus far. Dropped a little bit of a combo. He did get the jump in medium kick after all, but we talked about that right there. So even first, so closer up, Itazan is able to make that jump happen. Gachikun not able to get the trade off of the heavy whirlwind shot.
That's why you see him backdashing. Oh, there. Rush headbutt. Level 1 instead. Goes to the crouching light punch. Level 1 gets a side switch. Very well done here for Gachikun. We have more room to play with. Oh, careful now. Whip punish could be coming through against that with heavy kick. Get some recovery on that.
Not quite dead. Ball and burnout though. We'll see if the fireballs are going to do a lot more talking. No anti-air, and yeah, locked into the corner. Gachikun does have some time to reassess, but that was a pretty big lockout there from Itazan.
Drops the charge up fireball. Does find the stand fierce fist to face. Let's go to this corner space. Franco for the throw right after. Go, man. Yup. Charge a fireball at that distance, as you mentioned. Better off. Careful now. Too many fireballs could be level 2 if Itazan wants to have that lead, or at least close to a lead. Let him do it to you. Oh, no.
Awkward, too. For the side of Gachikun. No way that reaches. Set up Isar. No, he wasn't going to set it up. That could have guaranteed the burnout. Uh-oh. Swinging away.
With the damage. I regret this. In that position to get that drop medium kick or walk up stand light kick. And stand fierce as you see. But it's Gachikun threading the needle. And I would assume hit that level 3 for the victory. Yes, sir. Off the eagle spike. Be able to even things out. I think level 2 would have been better there to enforce the burnout. You know, there is a bar at the bottom for you somewhat have to worry about, I guess. I mean, no. It's level 1. Never mind. He would have been fine.
No,
burnout would have been better there to enforce. Yeah. What a bar spit right there for Gachikun.
Oh, man, Itazan finding the right spaces and the right timings to jump to avoid the whirlwind shot altogether. Gachikun definitely used that in the last time he faced off against this matchup too. So it's very interesting to see how Itazan has played a little bit closer to the chest against Rashid.
It's working out. He's got the lead now. Slowly walking down, getting whip punch against that heavy kick. We mentioned it. The recovery. What this man in the ICU. Watch this, asshole. Bam! Itazan with an early pop-off. Well deserved, though.
The big jackhammer. Hella damage coming in, too. All right, well. Itabashi Zangief keeping the dream alive. Going right back into game 2 now.
Uh-oh, got to recover that heavy kick. Crushing with a kick hits, though, on the wake up. Get the knockdown for the Oki, but not the proper one. Another mistake.
Oh. And I like that tool a lot that Itabashi has been using. Drive rush forward into fierce for the armor for in case the counter poke has happened, but Gachikun has not bit into it once.
Walked out this far. Oh no, the crushing movement hits. That's gonna be it. But I do like that idea though. Like even if it doesn't, like if it doesn't really have a bite behind it, it's still killing some of that drive gauge unless he's holding parry. So I like the idea and the intention to at least get something before you leave. Gachikun trying to switch up with the OD fireball every so often. Boy, there we go. The drive rush. Oh, there we go. Gets a stand medium kick now.
Ooh wee. His counter headbutt city. Drive rushing forward. The knee hammer still close enough. It was plus. Huh. Counter hit.
You block?
No way.
He did. Even better, he parried.
Double drop kick.
Oh my god.
So sick. It's actually so sick. Smetana drop kick. I've always wanted to know the name of that. So good, man. 2 games, huh? That's how you feel today? Itabashi showing no remorse. Something's different in the water, man. As soon as he got that ECTW, he got to face off all the Rashids there. He's like, you know, this match is looking kind of easy.
He even called for the sim. He was like, yo, I'll take the sim too as well. I feel like once you qualify, a big weight is off your shoulders. You saw how Knuckle played after he qualified. He was a breeze in the competition, way more aggressive, way more active, way more confident. It felt like that weight of your shoulders is lifted. But Itazan, he is playing ridiculous. As you mentioned, the stand fierce has been a good stopping tool against drive rush. It's good a good initiation tool if you want to drive rush up. If they try to, you also have the stand medium. He was now catching the heavy kick with the stand light kick as a whip punish. The punish kind of right after. And the proper amount of bar. These punishes off too as well with the drive rush follow-ups. He's just been on fire. And Gachikun with a few mistakes and not being able to get his level 2 mixes off with the ESR. Obviously, it's difficult because you have also SFL that could be coming through. You have level 2 if they have the bar for it too as well to stay through. But also, unfortunately, you can't switch out YC Mochi, bro. You gotta ride this all the way through. Gachikun. Let's see what happens.
True. You brought this upon yourself. There's no one else to blame.
Real.
It would be kind of wild. I would love to see like the big run back for at least like the tiebreaker scenario. I would love to see Itazan bring his team back into the potential limelight, but Gachikun is not looking to make that happen, at least in the first round of game 3. He is currently trying to keep Itazan contained, but he is walking him out.
Combo like mixer. Throw? Yeah. Dash will throw again. Now finish it. Gachikun. Less that corner pressure, what Rashid is known for, to mix it up. Go for strike a little bit later on. Switch it up if you want. If he gets there, see what happens. Right, rush stand fierce again against the heavy kick. And that has not been working out as an option. We just see a proper punish here for Itazan. Headbutt punish counter too far with the hell stab to lab. The land, stand fierce, knockdown. Level 2. Finally comes through on the knockdown. Yo.
Yeah, he had to do it. It was going to force him into burnout regardless. Great, quick decision-making there from Itazan. Oh, I thought that second part of the medium wasn't going to connect. Gachikun. He drops! And Itabashi, I don't think he's happy about that decision either. I think him going into level 3 was not something he wanted to do because he immediately reeled back in his seat. I looked kind of stressed about it. I think heavy SPD would have been more than enough to kill. We get the power,
100%.
the machine gun chops, excuse me.
Super button, threads the needle, but sends out the charge of fireball to escape the corner for some defense. Good idea from Gachikun, but what's the offense like? Forward head kick, counter hit, backdash to level 2, you know what to do. My win condition.
Sky high. Does get the extension, the very difficult extension. Overhead, medium enough to link.
To throw. Oh, the heavy kick was the 3-piece. Back to mid-screen, looking for a whip punish. 4 medium punch hits. Oh no, Gachikun's still in this. Level 1 to get it done, doesn't even need it, never mind. It's just an eagle spike to put a game on the board. Gachikun making worth of that level 2 scenario a lot more to either kill some health, kill some drive gauge, put himself back in business, and also the corner position too as well has been better for him. The Arabian Cyclone mixes, so we'll make the magic happen up the corner. Can continue though. We'll see.
Excellent start. Gachikun getting the jump in. Oh, get him out of there. Fierce his way out of the whirlwind shot. Damn, that was raw. He just went for the drive impact like that. Surprisingly enough, Gachikun didn't have a response.
Looking for the heavy kick against the stand medium. I'm assuming stand light kick into the Siberian Express. Over the corner now. Go for the driver's SPD. It's a cross up instead. Light mixer for the Arabian Cyclone, or for the, sorry. Oh wait, 4 medium punch. Whip punch against the stand medium against the rebuttal button. Oh, so it's cooking. I believe with the bottom 2 as well for level 2. Careful with that stand heavy kick. Seeing it get whip punish, that just allows him to have an access to damage.
Oh, this is huge. Potential overhead threat. SPD's through it. No way! Yes, oh, that's
no shot!
So well done. That was a read against the option select. We had seen other players do that over at ECT. The big call out from Itazan, the big gamble against the option select read. Beautifully played out.
Fire. Against that ODDP, however, it's not done though. Set point for him. Look at his building here for Gachikun. Try to fire up ball, use it for movement. We do. Get a counter hit combo. Read Cyclone, Gomeyo. Crushing medium punch, gets a crushing medium kick right after it. Hard stand, that's why it's landed. Light mixer. Another mix up. Breaks the throw. I was looking for a punish counter. He gets off the stand fierce. If heavy kick isn't working, go for something with a little bit less lag time. A bit harder to whip punch that stand fierce. Comes out up in the corner. The set point for Itazan. Gachikun's fighting back. Fantastic. Gets a counter hit off the overhead.
That's level 2 rip. Also was about to build a level 1 for himself. Right back into it. No option select. A little bit too late on the draw. Oh, that could have been level 3. That could have been destruction. But we'll take the heavy SPD. Into the wall. No way. Itazan keeps the dream alive. We're going to a tiebreaker.
Knowing what's at stake for his team. Knowing he is the captain, he must lead them to victory, knowing how many points are necessary. Bring us back to the brink. He is not with a victory day. He said, I will take a sim. I will fight a sim. That's how ready, prepared, and ready to fight this dude was. Honestly, very optimal up the corner, chasing down Gachikun, not letting him leave the corner. There's some clutch decisions on defense too as well. We saw that link up SPD against the level 2. As you mentioned, the OS blessed by the level 1 for the DP. Beautifully done. Hit that and punish in kind. It's a good moment. I feel like if Gachikun maybe started with a little bit more of the stand fierce against the stand mediums, maybe things would have been a little bit better. But with drive impacts and things like that, I don't know. Honestly, Itazan was just too in form right now. This guy's just so good. Look at that. Initiating, drive rush. Then he goes to the level 1. Bro, that is so sick. This guy's so good. We're going to get the kill with the optimal combo. I thought he was going to go for level 3 here. Didn't even need to. Damn.
I was already terrified
20 now.
for Gachikun, right? As soon as that neutral jump happened, I'm like, oh dear God, he's gonna go for a command grab. I thought it was gonna be a level 3. The fact that Gachikun went for a parry, that would have been absolute destruction. I would have been all there for it too, but either way, it still played out perfectly for Itabashi. Now, that read off the level 1, you see that quite often, right? Like, Zangief players don't necessarily have a safe way of going from like a crouching medium punch. Let me double check just in case. Crouching medium punch maybe into like drive rush, you could possibly bait something out, but any other normal it's much harder to, hence why like the option to select OD uppercut works out, right? And that's something that's been in the meta for a while now. The reason why the level 1 works so well is the threat of it. If it comes out, it takes away the OD uppercut. If it doesn't and they just wait there, and the opponent decides to not go for the OD uppercut, they're right in range and susceptible to the SPD. It is such an intimidating mix.
Beautifully covered, Itabashi. So for the rematch though, Gachikun is coming back up. I do feel like Itabashi with his reads, his reactions, and also the way he has been stripping away all opportunity, either level 2 or the drive gauge, whatever it may be. If you try to drive rush up, there's a stand fierce, or try to whip a button like a heavy kick, gotta poke his buttons. He's ready to punish that too as well. It's still a tall order for Gachikun, even if first to one. Like Itabashi, the gambler, first to one is even more devious. Let's see.
しっかり勝って、勝ち星をね、積みたいと思います。頑張ります。
I would have said Vice Mochi, honestly. Put him up. But
はい、ちょっとね、なんか押し返しそうな雰囲気あったんですけど、ちょっとね、いまいち僕が乗り切れんかったんで、最後5点だけ取って、勝ち逃げしたいと思います。
頑張ってください。
Yeah, we expected nothing less. This is exactly what we were thinking about in regards to who you'd send up for the sudden death. But taking a look at this too, like let's say Detonation FocusMe scores the 25 here. That puts them up at 115. Then they got 2 more weeks to play. They could score 80 points, putting them at 195. Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto right now is currently sitting at the threshold of 195. I won't necessarily say that there is a way for... I want to say like, let me take a look at what their history is like between the two teams before we make that judgment. If Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto has the better head-to-head record, then Detonation FocusMe, no matter what they do, they're out.
Oh. And they might just, considering how many times Detonation has not gotten points. We'll get there when we get there, I guess. The sweep against the drive rush. Gachikun. Looking for that stand fierce, the crouch fierce now as well. Heavy kick back on the menu, but careful now. That stand line kick has been catching that continuously. Big piece slap chop, counter hit. Stand medium kick.
What if I told you there's a realm where Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto could score 0 points against their last matchup against Detonation FocusMe? If that actually happens, Detonation FocusMe actually wins the head-to-head.
Ooh,
that's crazy.
Word.
If Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto nets 0 points in the next couple of weeks, Detonation FocusMe has a fighting chance. That's if Itabashi can win this round. Oh, no way. Does he get it? Borscht? No, it's gonna be the spin kick. No way, dude. The perfect KO! You have got to be kidding me! Itabashi laughing all the way to the bank. The meal ticket. He keeps the dream alive. By a small percentage, but still, he keeps the dream alive for Detonation FocusMe. Insane. Absolutely insane.
This guy hopes and dreams right on the back of him, the meal ticket. That's why they call him the meal ticket. His entire team hoisted by him, it feels. I'm glad that he came back. I mean, obviously, as you mentioned, there was times where he did not show up to play, especially after ECT. But now he's back in business out here, not only winning the anchor match, but also winning the first to one. Very dominantly, too. Keeps the lead. Gets the wheel kick. This is a one more touch scenario, drive reversal, adds up the gray life. That Sanbiru kick claims the life of Gachikun. That's 25-20. As you mentioned, Detonation FocusMe leading with 25 to have a fighting chance. There is a world where Seoul walks away with nothing in their pockets. There's a world where Seoul gets absolutely washed. And we've seen it. Some of these top-level teams get absolutely cooked up by people we don't even expect, by people we do sometimes expect. Where it works out that Seoul just has 2 bad days, and Detonation shoots up and is able to qualify. It could happen. It could happen. The dream is still alive. I like that they play with the energy too. Like they play with the energy. Like even if it's a very small chance, it's a chance to stay in.
Okay, so here's the actual play. Here's the actual breakdown. Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto has 2 more weeks to play. They have to play against Shinobism Gaming, then they have to face off against Detonation FocusMe. If they somehow score absolutely nothing against Shinobism Gaming, which is a possibility because they do have the home field advantage, by the way. That could be a possibility because of their team. Then going into the Detonation FocusMe match, Detonation has home field advantage again against Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto. So, with that in mind as well, the other stipulation is, currently with FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN, they have 175 points right now. Oh my god. So, it is highly possible. Detonation faces off against FUKUSHIMA next week. Detonation actually has a very decent fighting chance. This is crazy.
Coming into this day, I really thought it was over for them. I was like, listen, they're going to lose. They lose a match. It's over. Like, pack it up. Just be out here playing spoiler. But them having a shot, look at how tight things are at the just get to the playoffs here for Street Fighter League Japan. Look at how tight things are. Every episode matters. Every point matters. Every match matters. Oh my god, this is insane. We're getting the winning interview out here.
They literally cannot drop a single game against Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto, by the way, because the last encounter was Saishunkan Seoul winning 30-10. 30-10. This is nuts. But anyways, let's talk about the interview, Senkola. You got it.
All right. Itabashi says, win here. We start winning already. And Gachikun said, this is previously, I thought I was able to win here, but I'll win and take up the 5 points. That did not happen. So now, in the actual interview after, Nauman says, I was losing to Kanano in Street Fighter League in Singapore. I trained and looked back for a better move. Unfortunately, I lost again. Great that we won in totality, though. So he was happy, even though he had lost to Kanano for the however many times he lost to Kanano. He is happy that the team overall won. We're also getting John Takuchi's words as well. So yeah, that did happen previously where Kosa was able to take it. I feel like just mistakes from Nauman though. There were moments where Nauman
it was small.
Failed.
It was he had missed his counter hit confirmed. It was off of a crouch jab and then he just dropped it. He could have gone right into another light. He was within range of standing light kick for sure. But I don't know, man. That was actually kind of rough to see. Like, yeah, crouch and jab, being able to get that hit, and it's a counter hit. You 100% had time to get a standing light kick and within range to cancel, to do anything you wanted to until level 3. So that was kind of rough. If that had happened, that would have been a much easier predicament to be in, like a significantly better deal than the current point situation they're in now. As wild as that sounds.
Wow, awful confirmed. That's something that I'm sure he knew in his mind that probably made him a little bit shaky. I mean, that's why we saw a little bit of, I feel like that risk is going for these draft impacts every so often. There's certain moments that just were like, well, why would you do that? When you have the stress of your team trying to stay as solid as possible, it makes sense why we see some of these drops here and there. John says, I couldn't do anything. Pugera just did everything Rashid didn't want Bison to do. It's great that we were still able to have a chance still. Itabashi, the meal ticket himself, says, I really trained for Sim and I wanted to try playing, but Gachikun came. I mean, I saw him on his CFN. He was playing a lot of other Sim players. And I'm like, why are you playing these willingly? But I guess it's for this matchup. Also, I saw him using Marisa a little bit too as well, kind of dabbling with that character. Just a little bit. I don't think it was going to be a serious pick. But he says, we were pretty confused by the order, but it was a good thing I was able to win as the leader for the team.
That feels great. It really does feel great. I mean, they have a fighting chance. they're genuinely not out of the running. And that's what I like to see. Like, as it winds down further and further into the final weeks, I love seeing all of these teams really fight tooth and nail to get into the playoffs. It brings out some of like the most savage plays that you can see. It brings out some of the more intense reads against players, and it also brings about some of the more exciting moments, as we've just seen too. DetonatioN Focus Me 25 to good 8 squads 20 is so impressive. But I don't know what this means. Maybe it's a Mario reference. I would like to use some mushrooms to get some extra points. I'll ask the production if that's possible. I don't know what that means. But that's a no. We just happened to skip over Macho, but we didn't get to see Senor Optimal. It was his first time as the reserve, but obviously he was very happy to get that W here, as expected. But DetonatioN Focus Me, man. Amazing play. I think I was 1 for 3 in predictions today, but in totality, we had a very wide spread of points being thrown around, right? FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN getting the big W, 30-10 against Shinobism Gaming. Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto with a full sweep of 40 against NagoyaNTPOJA. Then you would just see in the conclusion of DetonatioN Focus Me going up against good 8 squad, 25-20 in favor of DFM.
Good action. Very all the way through. 30-10, 40-0, and 25-20, which I didn't really expect to DetonatioN as they are showing up, because they got to show out considering what is on the line, having a possibility of the playoffs. What a wild story that would be. But they have to play perfect in the upcoming games. That's going to be a tall order against like the likes of Seoul and against any other opponents that are going to come up, and whatever happens on the other side of things. But it could happen. We've seen way more ridiculous things out here at Street Fighter League. It's fantastic to see that some of these teams still have a chance and opportunity to get a sniffy shot, even more than a sniffy shot, and being able to be above the playoff line to stay fine and qualify. Once again, DetonatioN trying to get to that Cinderella story again would be fantastic. We'll get the next matches in order coming up this week. Even though there's a CPT this week, we're still going to have Street Fighter League. And by the way, we'll be streaming live from Friday now on. But here's the point. So we'll get to that in a second. 200 in totality, good 8 squad. 195 Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto. Shinobism Gaming, 190. FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN, 175. DetonatioN Focus Me, 115, and 115 for Oja. The differential lands in DetonatioN's favor. As you mentioned, they still have a chance. They still have an opportunity to get to that last dance. It's possible.
Yeah, very similar situation for NagoyaNTPOJA, huh? They got to face off against Good 8 Squad November 5th. Huh. Yeah, November 5th, and then they got to face off against Shinobism Gaming afterwards. That is a tall order. There's a possibility where Shinobism Gaming could not be in the running. What in the hell is going on? That's crazy.
This is crazy. Well, I know what that means though for us. Better action. Even better things to commentate and enjoy as a Street Fighter fan, but for them, a lot of stress. Even if you're a good 8 squad, yeah, you're in that top spot, but maybe Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto surpasses you. It could happen. Anything could happen right now in Street Fighter League. We've seen it happen. We've seen a lot of upsets. We've seen things that are, you know, where like the dark horse comes up from the rear and overtakes the top level competitors out here. Anything could happen in Street Fighter League. It's never, you know, time to count out any of these teams at all.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Like, in comparison to what it looks like on the other side of the fence, I am going to look at, real quickly, the current rankings of Division F. And this one is kind of like, man, well, it'll load eventually. But, there it is. Okay. It's still also pretty close-knit. Between the top 3 teams, 205, 170, 170. I'll say the names eventually. And then below the barrier is CAG Osaka with 135, Vero with 125, Belk Favu Gaming. I think they're out. I think it's safe to say that they're out, because even with 80 points, 150, you are not surpassing anybody within the top 3. So I will say Division S is much closer in in terms of like, the point spread. But with that in mind, you can see how the games have gone outside of looking at DFM, Detonation Focus Me. You can see kind of like the sporadic differences between like the middle groups, right? Good 8 Squad has maintained their lead for a very long time. Shinobism Gaming actually, I will say, proved to be like the better competitors over in week 6 for a very short time. So very interesting to see this development. But we talked about it earlier, Division F. That's going to be streamed live, by the way, this upcoming Friday. For those of you that are tuning in right now to the English broadcast, we are reverting back to the official time zone, which is going to be JST. Be sure to be there. I don't know when the clocks move forward for some of us in America. I'll figure that out eventually. But please, please, please do keep in mind, it will be live further into the broadcasts because of the fact that we have so many Capcom Pro Tour events happening on the weekend. But this is what it's going to look like for the schedule, at least. It's going to be Belk Favu Gaming versus Vero to kick things off of the next one. Then you have Crazy Raccoon versus Hiroshima Team Ikuza, rounded out by Yogibo Rejects versus CAG Osaka. Who do we have next?
That's going to be Oja versus Good 8 Squad. Detonation Focus Me, better focus up, against Fukushima IBUSHIGIN, and Saishunkan Komamoto against Shinobism Gaming. It's going to be on the 9th. Well, I'm sorry, the 5th. My bad, I read that wrong. The 5th. On that Monday, I think we're going to be taking a break because I think afterwards is a blink, I believe, if I'm not bugging.
That's
right. Okay, good. I'm somewhat okay in terms of what time is and how that factors into my life. So we'll take a little bit break after that and then come back to Street Fighter League after we have that offline action. Back to online Tuesdays flying out here at Street Fighter League. So that's our schedule. We'll have a full schedule coming up too as well. So you can mark all bits of your calendar so you know exactly when everything is coming through and make sure you don't miss a single second. If we are moving to that, I guess, earlier time period, make sure that you're able to catch it live with us or you can catch the VODs, the VODs. So you can also stop asking if it's live or if it's recorded or whatever. Now you can just know that it's live. Sarah Uriel will just see you there and you can just catch the VODs whenever you can. But either way, you get to watch and enjoy some of the best action you could ever see for Street Fighter and Street Fighter 6 over here at the League. It's been a fantastic time seeing these players evolve the meta, seeing the players evolve themselves and have different strategies, and also seeing what strategies they come as a team, as a unit, as they strive to get that top spot. Only one team is out right now, as you mentioned. Belk Favu Gaming is definitely out and out, but as we mentioned, Detonation Focus Me, simply focus up and get that opportunity at those playoffs. They have to play absolutely perfect, so make sure you tune in every single day, especially the 5th if you want to see Detonation possibly move on or falter to the wayside.
This is what the schedule looks like from a calendar basis. We talked about what's happening in the realm of the CPT. Obviously, the 2nd and 3rd is going to be the big super premiere live in Japan, but we will still be holding Division F's matches November 1st. Again, mark that calendar. On the 5th, we're going back into Division S, only to take a little bit of a break because of Blink Respawn happening on the 8th, 9th, and 10th. But with everything in mind, and only a couple more weeks of regulation to play, that leaves us with the information on the right as the playoffs are going to be happening in December, on the 21st and 22nd. Be sure to reserve your tickets if you're in Japan to get the early access live as it is seating. If not, you can hang out with us a week later and tune in to the broadcast over on Capcom Fighters for the English restream. Of course, it leads into the grand finals happening in February on the 11th as well. So be sure to stay in tune. Be sure to mark the calendars. There's so much happening in the realm of this CPT. If there's any sort of questions that you might want to ask, be sure to hit up @Saintcola_Saintcola or myself, Vicious FGC, and we can definitely do our best to answer as many questions as possible. And I really do mean that, man. Everybody that's come up in some of the offline events, people have come up to us asking us questions about SFL, asking us questions about teams and whatnot. To the best of our capability, we will answer it. So with that in mind too, again, be sure to be there with us for the playoffs. And this is so pivotal. And it's been really impactful, right? When we see some of the players figure out some of the matchups in League, bring it over to the offline events, and then also bringing in that compounding effect of like learning the matchup 2 times over in back-to-back events, only to show it off in the League, it really is like a beautiful type of structure.
reminds me of the old days, you know, being able to go offline and really get that international play so you can really understand the matchups and things like that, how play styles are operated, and import your own too as well, so you can stay fine for your World Warrior, which is coming up for Japan. If you're in the region, you know, sign up for that. This is the 4th one, so for a lot of places, they're already kind of solidified. But now that Shuto is solidified, he's already claimed his spot. We'll have to see who claims Japan, and we'll see who has the points. I don't know the points right now, if there's anybody that's high enough where they could just qualify straight up. I don't know if that's even possible, considering there's been so much, there's like a rotation, who's been taking it, who's been in the top 8 spot, top 16 spot. Some players, even your favorite players, don't even make it up that far, which is wild, but also not so wild if you think about the amount of top level talent that is out here in the land of Japan. You can also hit the public viewing right there by scanning that QR code and join Itabashi if you really want to hear him with that smack talk. And of course, Arun Hamiko, that expert level commentary. It's great to have that public viewing. Again, I love seeing people get together offline and not just do the Discord stuff, which is fine if you can do that, but if you can do the offline stuff, it's always good to view this stuff together. It's like a sporting event, but it's esports, I guess. Especially with fighting games that you're really involved in, you understand even more so what's going on. Make sure to catch that. On the 17th, it'll be happening on the wayside. So we'll, I guess, further see who's going to qualify or possibly qualify for the finale over at Capcom Cup. It'll be a fun time right there, catching all the great action. I've been seeing a lot of players like Oren and kind of pop off. Some of the players that we know to expect to pop off, like Kakaru. And again, as we mentioned, Super Premier in Japan, that's 2 players going to qualify. Scan the QR code to at least, I don't know, probably not sign up. I think it's way too late. But maybe you can sign up to spectate or go out there. It's definitely too late. Yeah, that's this week. So we'll catch it this week. They'll be streaming out there. We're watching from home too as well. It'll be a very fantastic time to see who's going to be going out there internationally. I think, actually, I don't know. I think Problem X is out there, and Amy Walker is out there.
100%, yeah.
I assume Minna is out there. I believe Minna is out there too. I'm not bugging.
I would imagine probably Nephew's definitely going to further his chances of not getting any sort of like big killers in his bracket, question mark. Noah the Prodigy is going to be there as well. I'm not too sure if Punk the God is going, because he doesn't really need to be honest with you. The Birds are going to definitely be going too, so I kind of wonder how that's going to play out in totality. But if you think about it too, if 2 of the top players end up being from the Japanese region and they're also part of the World Warrior, if they're like in top 8, that opens up a lot of spots. That opens up 2 total spots, because Shudo had already qualified. That leaves like who in the leaderboard? Kakaru, Orarin, Higuchi, Kawano, John Takeuchi, at least in the top 6, to name a few. So it's a pretty significant deal if 2 Japanese players end up taking it for the big Super Premiere, right? But before we even digress, you guys have been tuning in to Street Fighter League Pro Japan. We also have Street Fighter League US happening every single Wednesday beginning October. Well, it's already started. Why don't I even say the date? But we have the Bandits, FlyQuest, Cloud9, Shopify Rebellion, Fighting Spirit, as well as Red Rooster, with a new guest every 2 weeks, with Sajam joining us for week 3 and week number 4. You guys don't want to miss it. It's going to be pretty damn sick as you tune into it. But also Street Fighter League EU Europe coming back to town all the way live November 15th through the 26th. Are you kidding me? That's going to be live in Paris. These are the teams. We got Aegis, Guild, Mouse Esports, NIP, Ninjas in Pajamas, Reason Gaming, as well as the Wolves. You guys do not want to miss how crazy it's about to be. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys have been tuning in to the Best of Japan. And guess what? You're going to be rewarded with even more this Friday. Going to be all the way live for the English broadcast. We appreciate you guys tuning in to this one. Sikola and myself obviously love watching the interactions on chat, seeing you guys on Twitter talk it all. And we wouldn't really be here without you guys. So with that in mind, again, we close out Division S with a banger of a set all the way through. And we will see you for the next one, hopefully. Going into it, I know the time change is a little bit difficult between you and me. I understand it, but again, we appreciate you guys. We'll see you on the next one. Take care, everybody. We'll see you in the streets. Peace.
楽しみにしてます。かなり6からやっぱりこうヨーロッパのプレイヤーたちが一気にね、
いろんな地域でね、強い選手出てるんで楽しみですね。ということで、ぜひこちらもお楽しみにしていただければと思います。はい。楽しみにしてます。
ということで、ぜひこちらもお楽しみにしていただければと思います。ということで、ぜひこちらもお楽しみにしていただければと思います。
はい。
さあそれではストリートファイターリーグプロ JP2024 本日はディビジョン S 第8節の3試合をお届けしました。実況が私フリーダ、解説は羽根子さんでお届けいたしました。お疲れ様でございました。
ありがとうございました。
この後は選手の音声入り本日のハイライトをご覧いただきながらお別れとなります。お楽しみに。それではディビジョン F 第8節でお会いしましょう。さよなら。
さよなら。
準備が整ったようです。さあ福島いぶしぎにとってはもう今日ここからこれは運びつつ画面端あっとしかしここでも
なんかめっちゃなんもだったね。落ち着けなかったな。やった。
止めてる。きた。最後ギャロを放たれた。
ドリームでしょ。
そのまま。
ナイス。安定してた。オッケー。完全俺の度胸だ。そうですね。元祖ですか。
この状況。次のタッチが大事。うわまさかの選択肢。
ごめんなさい。
い
やー、惜しかった。ナイス。なんなん。いや、ちゃんと壁フリッカー読んでんのよな。何トンドンさ。偉すぎでしょマジで。危ねえ。30点で。30点でかい。30は。
先ほど見せていた動きをしっかりと警戒しているフード。最高チェンバーによってこれは借りますか。
最後もね。ないわでね。
美しいフィニッシュです。
来たねボタンからちょっと大変そうだね。大変そうだなっていう内容で私嬉しいな。
ここから
傘当たりだ。
この傘当たりだとは
まあかなり
勝利不能しあーっとこれは下切れず
おおはいオッケー大丈夫。そっちもナイス。いやー仕上がってます。
体力が持たないぞ。
バウンド中これは削りされます。
ナイスガイル疎通だ。疎通きました。いやーここでの4回ですよ。これは嬉しいな。
いやコパンジャスタスフラ勝ちなんで。
なるほど。
バックステ
これは素晴らしい。
バックス
オッケー。
やる。いいバックスだったね。いいバックスで。
完璧なバックスだ。
いや今
ムゲラリーチ
やばいこれ。
ラージ。
マジで。ナイス。いやもう言うことないですよ。
マジ強い。ハラハラしなかった。
おどっちリーサルだしインパクトそのまま板橋さん
よいしょいや
間に合わなかったインパクトが
珍しいですね。
でこれ大根対空からこの後打撃リバーされこれゴッと見たこれ
いや
何も起きませんでした。
きつい。
何も起きませんでした。すがすがしく負けてた。
踏まえての
うますぎて
コントロール作りました。なんもなし。今の。
間これちょっと。オッケー。お手上げす。
これやられたらお手上げすもん。
山形家の勝利です。
こりゃお手上げや。
これはお見事。
これはお見事。
ああ確かに。
これはマジでお見事。